Well, let's give praise, glory, and honor to the Most High Yah by way of Yahushua HaMashiach, our Master, King, and Savior. And let's look at John chapter 5 and about verse 39. John chapter 5 and about verse 39. And it says, search the scriptures, for in them you think you have eternal life, and they are they which testify of me. And you will not come to me that you might have life. I receive not honor from men, but I know you, that you have not the love of Elohim in you. I come in my Father's name, and you receive me not. If another shall come in his own name, him you will receive. How can you believe which receive honor one of another, and seek not the honor that comes from Elohim only? The reason why we kept on going, because that's what we were talking about as it pertains to these feasts, and pertains to anything that you might do in your service to Yah. You're supposed to be doing it to seek the honor that comes from Yah, and not the honor that comes from men. How many of y'all can honestly say that at some point in time you might have caught yourself, might have been caught up seeking the honor that came from men and not that it came from Yah? At least try honest with it. You know what I'm saying? It can happen. Everybody at some point in time had undid it. Everybody done did it. You might not do it consistently, you just might have been done slip. You ain't even sitting back realizing you done lost focus on what you supposed to actually be doing. The part is how long you stay like that. Some stay in it longer than others. You know what I'm saying? What always used to resonate and ring in my mind was that particular verse 44. You can't believe in Yah seeking the honor that comes from men. You know what I'm saying? You know what it end up being even like that, even if misconstrued, even when you post a lot. You could have been done posting a lot of words. You ain't really trying to do it for men, but it could come off that way. You know what I'm saying? You know where you get you messed up at? Boy, I'm going to cut me a nigga. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that there. You're not doing that for y'all. You're doing that for yourself. Somebody can tell you how nice you are. You know what I'm saying? Just like sit back, you say you asked the brother how he knew the calendar was off. But yet the brother sitting in there cutting hair right now we speak. You know what I'm saying? He in there. Fade a nigga up, boy, with a video playing. Somebody gonna sit back, sitting there looking at him. Yeah, boy. He just said something about Shabbat, boy. Don't you believe in that? Yeah. Well, why you in here then? You know what I'm saying? So you look at them videos you playing and the stuff you might say or do, who you doing that for? You doing that for yourself? You doing that because you want to glorify y'all? You doing that because you want the people around you to say particular things about you? You know, that's what and you know where most of that stuff come from? People desire, need to want to be accepted, and people to get them accolades so they can feel good about themselves. Because really you might be insecure and not confident in yourself like you're supposed to be, so you need outside validation. You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't need no outside validation. The only validation you should need is the validation that comes from Yah only. Why you need a man to do it? You know what I'm saying? Now I know at the same time, like say, since you married, you know, your wife gonna want to know she's appreciated. You know what I'm saying? That's a little different, you know. I just like for you to know that, hey, I actually cleaned your children up today, and every day, and your house, and the food. Yeah, clean the food before I cook. Say, you got to clean some meat. Got to wash beans. You know what I'm saying? Shoot, we were talking about the other day. T said, I don't buy no canned beans. I said, I know, I ain't got no time to wash them. You ain't got to worry about it. You're going to wash a lot of beans. Greens. Chicken. You know what I'm saying? Okay, what you do with it? Just make sure we don't get sick. And I ain't get sick from that chicken. I told you wasn't nothing wrong with it. Yeah, I ate it. No, I just ate half of it. Sticker asked me, did I eat all the food? Huh? A week? A week? Hold on, man, hold on. She must don't know me, do it. She said a week. And you ain't shooting up about 5, 6 of them things in there. 5 or 6 strips gonna last me a week. I ain't even finna do that now. Cause I shouldn't even have to do that now. I ain't had no muscles and ate like that. Boy, that man there know, boy, cause we done smashed many of things together, boy. Who? I can tell. You better know it. Who? Whole pizzas like this here, boy. You better turn your head talking about, hey, bro, I'll be right back. Come back, boy. We got 3 boxes of pizza in here. You done came back and they all gone. Like, bro, you ain't leave me nail slice. You should have left the room, nigga. You should have left the room. You know what the rules is. Shoot. That nigga say last me all week. What I'm gonna eat? A half a strip a day? Six strips ain't nothing but a snack. Shoot, Jim Dandy killed more than 6 strips. Am I lying?
How big were the strips?
Not big enough. I'm talking about last a week. Ephesians chapter 3. Galatians chapter 3.
All like that.
No, Ephesians 3. Shoot, 3 strips ain't nothing but a serving size to get 20 grams of protein. And I had about 4 strips already in the container when she gave them to me. Shoot. I ate them things in a day and a half. It was about 12 of them in there. We crashed them. We growing. We like to eat. You done seen me order 2 whole entrees, talking about 6 strips gonna last a week. Golly. Shoot, we just did that the other day, though. With the mini pizza, they was all right, too. I appreciate that, hands up on that. Yeah, they was all right. As a matter of fact, shoot, nigga, I ate my food that night and shoot, pretty much ate yours about 3-4 days later. That's what that spicy stuff, boy. I gave that stuff to Lizzie. Lizzie walk around the room like somebody give me a water bottle. Mouth was on fire. Now, what she get? 3 and 10, Ephesians chapter 3, verse 10. He say too, is the intent that now unto the principalities and powers in the Shamahim, the places might be known by the body, the manifold wisdom of Elohim, according to the eternal purpose which he purposed in Yahushua HaMashiach our master, in whom we have boldness. So in him they got boldness, right? That's what he said. In the Mashiach you got boldness. And access with confidence by faith of him. Wherefore I desire that you faint not at my tribulations for you, which is your glory. What do you think Paul could mean when he said, I hope you don't fall out for my trouble, which is for your glory, for your esteem? What you think that could mean?
Like, what they teaching him, they may be persecuted for learning from him.
What he's saying, what Paul is basically telling us here is he said, don't you fall. Anybody, y'all ever seen somebody going through something that made you sad they were going through for you got even weak while you were watching them go through that? Well, what Paul is telling you is don't fall out at my tribulations, which are for you, which is going to end up being your glory, which means it's going to end up for your benefit or your profit. So that means we need to actually see where he would get this from and look at somebody who was in some trouble. And that trouble that they went through ended up being the glory for somebody else. Because we already know the trouble that a Mashiach went through was for our glory. You know what I'm saying?
Joseph,
He's absolutely. But we don't want Joseph today, gentlemen.
no.
Don't want him either. We going to Ruth chapter 1. You gonna say that too? You think about it. Yeah, I mean you should, because we've been talking about it. David is correct though. David was in my mind to look at this afternoon. Joseph was not though, but that is true. Joseph had troubles. Through his troubles, he was able to get glory for others. Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's no different. I mean, it's many places you can go. He's no different because what he went through dealing with Esau and what he went through dealing with Laban ended up being the glory for others because they were able to be partakers of the covenant of which he was blessed with. Let me get round here to Ruth. Ruth 1:1. He said, now it came to pass in the days when the judges ruled, there was a famine in the land. And a certain man of Bethlehem, Judea, went down to sojourn in the country of Moab, he and his wife and his 2 sons. So if he went to deal in Bethlehem, Judea, what does that city's name mean?
House of bread, praise Yah.
The house of bread and the praise of Yah. This is where he went down to. This is where they went to dwell at. The house of bread and the praise of Yah. And the name of the man was Elimelech, and the name of his wife Naomi, and the name of his 2 sons, Melhan and Chilion, Ephratites of Bethlehem, Judea, Yehuda, my apologies, and they came into the country of Moab and continued there. I escaped my mind because I was already looking at this stuff earlier. You brothers remember, any of y'all brothers know what Elimelech, the husband name means? Yeah. Yah is my king. Yah is my king went to dwell in the house of bread with his wife Naomi, whose name means My delight. When it say Ephratats, you know what city that mean they would be from if they were Ephratats? Possibly. It's actually got two meanings. You know what the other meaning would be? Hold this here and come to Micah chapter 5 and verse 1. Hey, little buddy. Ah. You look like what you want a piece of me, sir? I ain't did nothing to you. I don't want no troubles. Got some size on you, man. Kind of nervous. You got your collar flipped up. Look like you don't play no game, 5-1. Now, I'm not saying that you were wrong on that, Corey. It does have two meanings. One of them is they could be from the tribe of Ephraim. But now we're going to look at the second meaning, if they call them Ephrathites, what that could mean. It say, now gather thyself in troops, O daughter of troops. He have laid siege against us. They shall smite the judge of Yasharal with a rod upon the cheek. But thou, Bethlehem Ephrathah, though thou be little among the thousands of Yehudah, yet out of thee shall come forth unto me, that is to be a ruler in Yasharal, whose goings forth have been from old and everlasting. Therefore he will give them up until the time that she which travail have brought forth. Then the remnant of his brethren shall return unto the children of Yasharal. This going back to what, you know what he said? He'll give him up to the time of what? She travailed. We looked at travailing last night, didn't we? About him giving birth when the brothers say, how we going to be able to keep the feast if we not a nation? You know, when we look at Sarah, she was in a little travail. Why was she in travail, Troy? She was barren. So let's go look at that. I think it's what, by Genesis, about 17 possibly.
This is what?
Huh?
This is what?
17. Say what? We always got one in the crowd. Always got to be one in the crowd. Yeah, we gonna forget y'all right. 17 and 13. Said, he that is born in thy house and he that is bought with thy money must needs be circumcised, and my covenant shall be in your flesh for an everlasting covenant. And the uncircumcised man-child, whose flesh of his foreskin is not circumcised, that soul shall be cut off from his people. He hath broken my covenant. And Elohim said unto Abraham, as for Sarah thy wife, thou shalt not call her name Sarah, but Sarah shall her name be. And I will bless her and give thee a son also of her. Yea, I will bless her. She shall be a mother of nations. Kings of people shall be of her. Then Abraham fell upon his face and laughed and said in his heart, shall a child be born unto him that is 100 years old? And shall Sarah that is 90 years old bear? And Abraham said unto Elohim, oh, that Ishmael might live before thee. And Elohim said, Sarah thy wife shall bear thee a son indeed, and thou shalt call his name Isaac. And I will establish my covenant with him for an everlasting covenant, and with his seed after him. Now, how did Ishmael end up coming into play? Well, let's look at 16 and let's look at how Ishmael come into play. 16 and 1. Now, I want to sit back and I want y'all to really peep what's going on here, right here with this here. 16 and 1. And it says, now Sarah, Abraham's wife, bare him no children, and she had a handmaid, an Egyptian, whose name was Hagar. Sarah said unto Abraham, behold now, Yahuwah have restrained me from bearing. I pray thee, go in unto my maid, that I may obtain children by her. And Abram hearkened to the voice of Sarah. And Sarah, Abram's wife, took Hagar, her maid, the Egyptian, and Abram dwelt 10 years in the land of Canaan, and gave her to her husband Abram to be his wife. And he went in unto Hagar, she conceived, and when she saw that she conceived, her mistress was despised in her eyes. Sarah said unto Abraham, my wrong be upon thee. I have given my maid into thy bosom. And when she saw that she had conceived, I was despised in her eyes. Yahuwah judged between me and thee. Now, why would that be important? Number one, where did it say Hagar was? So if she's an Egyptian, what would that mean when we sit there and we think about that? She's an old bond woman.
Flesh.
Mm-hmm. What'd you say now? Now look at what he said, what happened after she conceived. Look at what Sarah said to Abram. What did she say to him? What did she just say?
My wrong be upon you.
My wrong. Now what we said there, she say, my wrong be upon thee. This is what she's saying to Abram. Now why would that be important? Because right now she's sitting back looking at, she going through a little trouble right now. She was troubled in her flesh because she hadn't produced her husband a child. Remember, he say, don't faint for my tribulation, because my tribulation will be for your esteem. Now we turn around and look at it. Why would she look at this man and say, my wrong be upon thee? Think about it now. It's really simple. Ain't even that hard. What you say, little young Egbert? Go ahead, bro.
Sin, Yashua following upon the Mashiach.
You got to remember, what was he, when all intents and purposes, when he was walking the earth, was he not barren for a period of time? Had he gave birth yet? Had he reproduced? You know what I'm talking about? Well, let's go ahead. We looked at him reproducing last night, right? Now we sit back and let's look at that wrong being on him, and let's go over here to John chapter 2. Well, as a matter of fact, make it Romans 15:1. We'll get to John chapter 2.
You done there, Ruth?
Nah, we coming back to Ruth all day long. We got to finish Ruth out to what we discussed on atonement, man, for those who didn't hear it. (15:1). We then that are strong ought to bear the infirmities of the weak and not to please ourselves. Well, in all intents and purposes, Hagar was strong and Sarah was weak, wasn't it? She had an infirmity. She couldn't produce a child. You know what I'm talking about? She was weak. So she bare that burden for her. He said, let every one of us please his neighbor for his good to edification. For even a Mashiach pleased not himself, but as it is written, the reproaches of them that reproach thee fell on me. So that wrong, let my wrong be on you. You know what I'm saying? So that's basically all the troubles that I'm taking it on. That wrong, that's on me. That's going to be for your glory, for your enlightenment. Because end up in their mind, they thinking that this is his glory. Because you know, what does the word say about the firstborn son? What is it? Let's look at Genesis 49. Let's see what the 49:1. Let's see what the word say a firstborn son is supposed to be. And Jacob called unto his sons and said, gather yourselves together that I may tell you that which shall befall you in the last days. Gather yourselves together and hear ye, sons of Jacob. Hearken unto Yasharal, your father. Reuben, thou art my firstborn, my might, and the beginning of my strength, the excellency of dignity, and the excellency of power. That sounds like that Reuben would be his glory. Firstborn would be his glory. This is how he was looking at Ishmael, right? Well, let's go back into the 17th chapter of Genesis, and let's look about Ishmael then. Ain't nothing a lot. 17 and 20. Who know what Ishmael name means? We done looked at this in the past. Some of y'all wasn't round. Nowhere near round. You remember what Ishmael name mean, Brian? You remember what it mean? Huh? No, that's Joseph. You remember what it mean, Glover? Ishmael, his name. No, I didn't say what his name mean, but his name is right here in the 16th chapter of the same thing, but it means that Yah has heard my affliction.
Yeah, by the will.
Yeah. So we look in verse 20. As for Ishmael, I have heard thee. Behold, I have blessed him, and will make him fruitful, and will multiply him exceedingly. 12 princes shall he beget, and I will make him a great nation. Now this is to call something to y'all remembrance, because the first time we ever dealt with it, we dealt with it in that room right across the hall. So that means most of y'all wasn't even around. And I don't believe that this ever was on tape neither. So who these 12 princes then? Them the apostles then. Look what he just said he would make up out of Yah will hear my affliction and make him a great nation. So he'll take him that of her that was barren and make him great. Look at the next thing he say, but my covenant will I establish with Isaac, which Sarah shall bear unto thee at this set time in the next year. He left off talking with him, and Elohim went up from Abraham. And then he began to circumcise him. This ain't the story that I want. Where's that story? Around here in 21, that's what we want. Come on around here to 21, that's what we want. 21 and 14. I'm gonna see who remember 21 and 14. We're gonna see who remember that one there. Now Hagar is afflicted, right? Sarah just told her to get out the house, right? She in a little trouble, ain't she? She in a little trouble, right? She don't know what to do. She been kicked out. She been despised. You sit back and look at it, right? It say, my mistress has despised me. That's what she said, right? Because we got to come back and look at 16 too. But let me sit back. Let me not miss what I came there for. She said when she conceived, her mistress was despised in her eyes. Now you got to sit back and look at something. We look at Hagar, right? Producing Ishmael. He's considered to be what? Son of the flesh. Remember when we looked at when the Mashiach, remember when we look at John chapter 8 when he say he that commits sin is the servant of sin? And the son, a servant abides not in the house, but the son abides forever. We know that he get that from Ishmael and Isaac. Because Isaac abided in the house. Ishmael had to get out. You know what I'm saying? He's the servant of sin. Well, we knowing that Egypt meaning bondage, and then when this woman conceived this son, she was despised in her eyes. We could turn around back and look at right at that, and when Adam brought forth death in the world, the Most High began to look at that. Remember Isaiah 28 when he said, you made a covenant with death and hell, I will disannul your covenant. Because he despised that. That was never his will and his way for death to come on the scene eternally. He always had a plan. He knew this man was going to die, but he didn't want you to do it like this here. Remember, because that's how Satan had power over death. Therefore, you're despised. I got to get you out. You don't realize he kicked them all out, right? You know what I'm talking about? You bringing bondage in here. All y'all can get out. You get out, you get out, you get out, you get out. Everybody get out. Yeah, I mean, not just that, but out of the garden. He put 2 flaming swords to protect the tree of life. Everybody get out. You got to remember, Adam, Eve, and Hashatan, what they were all in there, what? He said, all y'all get out too. You despised in my eyesight. You can't dwell here. Why are you despised? Because of your disobedience, you are the flesh. See, let's go back, hold this right here to Genesis 21, and let's look at Romans chapter 9 real fast. We'll get to Galatians 4 after a while. You know, Romans chapter 8 say we are not debtors to the flesh to live after the flesh. And he that served the flesh, he cannot submit himself to the law of Yah. He's not subject to it, neither indeed can be. And those that are in the flesh, you can't please Yah. So y'all gonna have to sit back and look at that. If you move according to your flesh, there is absolutely no way whatsoever that you could ever do anything pleasing in this man's eyesight. Why you sit back and you look at, as soon as Hagar conceived, she was despised because you are the flesh. You can't please me. If that's her mistress, that means she is her ruler. She over her. You know what I'm talking about? She is of the flesh. She's a carnal individual. You can't please me. Get from in front of me. Depart from me, you workers of iniquity. That's pretty much what she told her. She came and did a great work, didn't her? You brought a baby for my husband. But at the end of the day, you carnal, get away from me. You know what I'm talking about? But look at 9 and 7. Make it 9 and 6. It said, not as though the word of Elohim have taken none effect, for they are not all Yasharal, which are of Yasharal. Neither because they are the seed of Abraham are they all children, but in Isaac shall thy seed be called. That is, they which are the children of the flesh, these are not the children of Elohim. But the children of the promise are counted for the seed. How many kids did Abraham have? Who know the exact number? I can't tell you the exact number off the top of my head. You know how many kids this man had? Well, let's look at Genesis 25. Let's see how many kids he had. No, he said the children of the flesh. And they are not counted for the seed, but the children of the promise. I mean, you 25 and 1. You can't count the, well, it might be 24. It's 25 and 1. All right, 25 and 1. It says, then Abraham took a wife because Sarah has died. And her name was Keturah, and she bare to him Zimran, Jokshan, Medan, Midian, Ishbak, and Shahuah. That's 6 sons. Count Ishmael, he had 7. None of them counted for the seed. None of them. Do you know what I'm saying? These are Abraham's sons, aren't they? Ain't none of them counted because you already heard what that man said, and Isaac, your seed, gonna be called. So I don't care about none of the others. See what I'm saying? This is showing us one thing, man. You can be of the seed of Yasharal because they are the seed of Abraham, but yet they are not children. They are not children. You know what I'm saying? They could turn up and say, why you think the Arabs, come on back to Romans chapter 9, why you think the Arabs try to came up with their false religion and come up and try to take claim? Because they trying to take claim of Abraham. They say if they take claim of Abraham, then they take claim to the promises. But then all you got to do is just go back and look at the law and see who the promise. He didn't promise Ishmael nothing as it pertained to that. He said, I'll make him a great nation. Some kings will come up out of him. Other than that, I can't do nothing for him. He made a blessing for Esau too, right? You'll live by your sword. You'll have this here. Other than that, I can't do nothing for you. You know what I'm talking about? He's saying, Isaac, your seed gonna be called. He say the elder gonna serve the younger. I'm gonna bless that one. So when you look at them 6 sons, why you think most of the people of this earth hate you? Because they know that that promise was made to you. You know what I'm talking about? It wasn't made to them. They don't realize that they can take a part of it, but they're gonna have to do what you do. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to do that. You know, you're the only people on the earth. Nobody don't want to listen to you. They think you ain't nothing but some no good niggas, some monkeys. All you know how to do is just dance half naked and get drunk and high and crack jokes and run a football and dunk a basketball. That's all they think you worth. I was looking at 2 dudes debate about Major League Baseball. Out of all the of course you don't expect to have no black coaches in hockey because there's barely any black people playing hockey. It's more than you think. Well, I mean, I know that, but shoot, that don't mean nothing. Black people don't like that sport. It's cold. You know what I'm saying? Nobody black people trying to do no junk like that. But then you turn around, you look at basketball. Most of the coaches in basketball are black. You know what I'm saying? Because most of the players in the league are black. I don't know how many black coaches it is. It's not that many in the NFL. I know you got Lovie Smith and you got Mike Tomlin and you got Todd Bowles, and I think it stops about right there. Huh? Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's about the 3. Oh yeah, Jim Caldwell. So you got 4 black coaches out of 32. With a league that's probably about 60 to 70% black. Well, when you got Major League Baseball, you have no black managers. Well, you always crying, man. Hush that noise up, man. Oh, that one there might be real. Hush, man. Man, go on, hush that noise up, boy. Oh, he hurt for real, because he done said I ooh about 4 or 5 times. But when you look at Major League Baseball, right, what they were debating is, you know, in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, and 80s, a lot of young black males played baseball. Lots. Actually, truth be told, some of the greatest players in the history of the sport are black. You know what I'm saying? Barry Bonds, Willie Mays. No, I mentioned Barry Bonds, but Ken Griffey kind of fell off towards the end because he was hurt a lot. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but I'm talking about, I'm actually trying to go, I shouldn't even mention Barry Bonds, because I've actually got to mention people y'all don't even know who they are. Like Roy Campanella. You know what I'm talking about? I know y'all know who Jackie Robinson is. You got people like Larry Doby. I say you got Willie Mays. You got Lou Brock. You know what I'm talking about? The list goes on and on. You know what I'm saying? Because when they merged that thing in with, I forgot about that, Hank Aaron. You know what I'm talking about? Second, the top 2 home run hitters of all time are black, and they still talk about Babe Ruth. Now, what that tell you? Barry Bonds number 1, Hank Aaron number 2, and they still talk about Babe Ruth. You know what I'm saying? They got to try to discredit Barry Bonds because they try to say he was on steroids. He ain't never been proved to be on there. They just didn't like him. He didn't kiss them white people behind. But married to a white woman though. But yet didn't like to talk to white media. I never understood that one. And it's huh? Yeah, he did, but but they tried to make it seem like he ain't like white people, but it's really just the media. They say he was kind of surly, wasn't a nice guy to get along with. You know what I'm saying? But now black kids don't play baseball. One, because they feel the sport is boring and it's too slow and there's not enough action in it. But the main thing is they was like Major League Baseball is not really making an effort to even reach out to black kids to get them to play, because basically they want to keep it as the national pastime. You know what I'm saying? It's ours. You niggas stay where you at. Just like them shoes I dyed blue and red, I called them Vince Coleman's. Y'all know who Vince Coleman is? Any of y'all in here know who that is? That's one of the greatest base stealers in the history of Major League Baseball. He comes straight out of Jacksonville, Florida. He went to Reigns. You know what I'm saying? Straight out of Duval County, one of the greatest base stealers to ever play. Just like Ricky Henderson. They don't talk about none of these dudes. You know what I'm saying? They don't care about none of these dudes. Boy, they'll trot Pete Rose out there to you in a heartbeat. This man can't even allow it in baseball. He a drunk and a gambler. They talk about Ty Cobb all the time. He well before any other time. He hated black people. You know what I'm saying? You'll keep some people out of the Hall of Fame for steroids, but yet you got admitted racists in here. You know what I'm saying? It don't make no sense, because that's how baseball look at you. You some niggas. See, football will just throw you a bone here and there. We'll let y'all be some coordinators. You know what I'm saying? Give you some GM positions. It's only one minority manager in baseball, Freddie Gonzalez. Of the Atlanta Braves. He probably ain't even Latino because he look Caucasian. You got to understand, there's a difference now. You got Latino, you got European Hispanics, and you got Negro Hispanics. They not the same. You can't lump them all together. There's a difference. But what I mention that is they not a partaker of the same thing as you, so they don't feel like you're equal to them. That's why they always want us to be dependent on them and look at them for certain things and never think that we can do things on our own. He would talk about Geno Jennings the other day, and matter of fact, somebody posted that video that Geno would talk about that black people ain't never done nothing without white people. Any of y'all ever seen that before? You seen that before?
Geno Jennings said this.
Out his mouth.
That was
That old nigga always talked about Obama all the time. That old bald head nigga, he up there in D.C., man, he a preacher, man.
real pimp.
You done showed it to, if I showed you what he looked like, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But he was the one always going to Obama.
Oh, well,
Yeah. See, I know you had done showed it to me before you even showed me Pastor before.
no, Pastor Man too, Jericho.
Yeah, the Jericho.
Pastor Man.
I don't even know who that is. Yeah, I don't even know who that is. But I know Geno say black people had never done nothing without white people. He said we don't even need to try. You know what I'm saying? But you know what that make us get in our mind? That we can't do nothing without white people. But Black Wall Street show you that we done stuff without white people. The Black Panthers show you that we done stuff without white people. Even as wicked as the Nation of Islam is, they showed you that they could do something without white people. As wicked as Yahweh Ben Yahweh was, he showed you could do something without white people. You just got to have the wherewithal, the drive, the determination, and most importantly, the cooperative effort amongst a group of people to work together for one common cause. You know what I'm saying? Yahweh Ben Yahweh couldn't have built a $250 million operation by itself. That had the $250 million. He was worth $250 million when they locked him up. This man had grocery stores, laundromats, dry cleaners. That man had South Florida on smash. You know what I'm saying? He was sleeping with all the women and cuffing all the money and killing niggas, but he was doing his thing though. Y'all ain't know he was murdering people, did he? We ain't gonna call him Yahweh ben Yahweh. We gonna call him what his mama called him, Hewlin Mitchell. His daddy say, boy, I was there when he was born. Talk about Yahweh ben. You know how retarded he is? He say, I'm Yahweh, son of Yahweh. That's what he called himself. So you the son of yourself. Because he tried to place himself, he tried to replace a Mashiach with himself. He was saying he was the anointed one. But he had a $250 million operation. In order for all that to pop off, that means you had to have a collaborative effort for a group of people for one common cause. That's why black people can't really get nowhere when doing stuff, because we don't have a collaborative effort where everybody is working together for one common cause. You got too many different agendas. You know what I'm saying? This person want to do this, and this person want to do that, and this person want fame, and this person want notoriety, and I'm mad this person make X amount of money, and why they talk to this person like this? So you can't never get nowhere. Stuff be fragmented, and then it falls apart. Just like Mashiach told you, a kingdom divided against itself cannot stand. You could go back and look in the prophets and see that. He divided, we read it last night, he divided the tribes, 10 to the north, 2 to the south, and what ended up happening? We didn't stand. We didn't stand. Northern kingdom got taken off to Assyria. Southern kingdom got taken off to Babylon. And now we in this hellhole at the present time. Yeah, it does. 9 and 6 though. Romans chapter 9 verse 6. Yeah, it sucked real bad. I heard that. Not as though the word of Elohim have taken none effect, for they are not all Yasharal, which are of Yasharal. Neither because they are the seed of Abraham are they children, but in Isaac shall thy seed be called. That is, they which are the children of the flesh, these are not the children of Elohim, but the children of the promise are counted for the seed. For this is the word of promise. At this time will I come, and Sarah shall have a son. And not only this, but when Rebekah also conceived by one, even our father Isaac, for the children being not yet born, neither having done any good or evil, that the purpose of Elohim according to election might stand, not of works, but of him that called. Do you realize that Ishmael did absolutely nothing to be rejected? It's of him that called, not by no works. You know what I'm saying? I called for Isaac. You sit back and you look, that's where that faith come in at. It is not by any works of righteousness that we have done, but it's according to the purpose and will of Yah why you've been called. Now, whether his purpose is for your salvation or damnation is all in your lap. Because you make the choices or the decisions that you choose to make. You know what I'm saying? You choose to be an idiot, you're going to get what come with that. You know what I'm saying? You choose to be wise, and you're going to get what come with that. It ain't really nothing that you're going to get from Yah what you put into him. You put in the work to attain salvation, that's exactly what you're going to get from him. You put in the work to get damnation, that's exactly what you're going to get from him. And at the end of the day, who fault is it? And at the end of the day, whose success is it? So you got to sit back and look at that. Come on back to 21. Genesis, we still holding, Ruth. So when we look at verse 14, right, of Genesis 21, Abraham rose up early in the morning and took bread and a bottle of water and gave it unto Hagar, putting it on her shoulder, and the child sent her away, and she departed and wandered in the wilderness of Beersheba. What did you catch, Cora?
Wandering in the wilderness.
What you catch, what? You may not remember. It's been a while since we looked at that.
And early in the morning.
What you call?
Fast affliction.
What you call?
Israel coming out of Egypt.
What you call, fat boy? Yeah, and then they wanted in the wilderness, but you know what else you should have caught? I got some bread, I got a beverage, and I put it on her shoulder. You know what I'm talking about? Take up your affliction, your suffering, and follow me, because this suffering will be for your esteem. Now sit back and look at it. It's not Ishmael who is suffering right now. It's Hagar that's taking on this trouble and tribulation. She the one got the bread, the water put on her shoulder, and is wandering in the wilderness. Why is she wandering in the wilderness? That means she outside the camp, so to speak, then. Taking on her reproach, right? Hebrews 13. Hold this Genesis 21. Hebrews 13. I was looking, y'all wasn't wrong about the one in the wilderness, but I thought I was gonna see if somebody caught that. He put it on her shoulder. We had to sit back and look at Hamashiach put them tribulations and that trouble on his shoulder and bared it for you. So it could be for your glory and your esteem. You gotta turn around and do the same thing. You can't do nothing different than what the king did. You know, we done looked at that before. What can he do that come after the king but the same thing the king did? 13 and 8, Hebrews. Says Yahushua HaMashiach the same yesterday, today, and forever. We looking at yesterday, right? If we going back looking at the beginning, right? And he's suffering back then. Just because it's Hagar, you think that ain't him suffering? Just because that's Joseph, you think that ain't him suffering? Just because that's Sarah, you think that ain't him suffering? But be not carried about with diverse and strange doctrines, for it is a good thing that the heart be established with grace and not with meats, which have not profited them that have occupied therein. Now, you know, we were talking, when we were talking about that on atonement, we were talking, matter of fact, it was ironic that Brother Tony called from Australia about that, because he been, you know, the people who talk about the flat earth, that really frustrates him greatly, because he asks certain questions, they don't answer him for him. Now, we're not finna get into all of that there, but like, I ain't gonna say that's a strange doctrine, but it's a diverse one. And when I sit back and I look at those who argue about it, what profit and gain you getting out of it? You know what I'm saying? Because all you really doing is these people really get highly disrespectful to each other about, is the earth a sphere, is it flat? And if it get to the point where you calling each other out their name to the point where a fight come with that, ain't no profit with that. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nowhere in the world we should have a discussion about something and we talking about putting hands on each other, cussing at each other, calling each other names. That this is not a profitable doctrine to even be investing myself in if we can't sit down and have a conversation like grown men. I can disagree with you without being disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? If I believe the earth flat and you believe it's round, I can stand on the stance that I'm on without disrespecting you. That goes back to what James said, man. He said, if a man can't bridle his tongue, then his religion is vain, it's worthless. You know what I'm saying? So that means whatever it is you following, if that can't stop you from calling me a female dog, calling me all types of foul words, well, what you doing, it don't even profit. Ain't no gain to it. Because, boy, I see, well, you know, that internet is easier for them to do it because they typing behind a computer screen. I know full well y'all ain't finna talk to no grown man like that to his face. I just can't see most of them dudes talk to no grown man like that to his face. Boy, because a fight come with that, boy. Some of y'all know what I'm talking about. You ever cuss somebody out online?
Nah, you cussing at me.
You ever cuss somebody out? Will, you ever cuss somebody out? See, Will like this, yeah. Y'all ever cuss somebody out in person?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he talking about in person. He say screw on the screen.
Nah, I was on the internet. Nah,
Yeah, on the internet.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying like that. And then when you know, if it done got to that point where you having a discussion about a topic and it get to that, well, that mean this ain't even worth it. This ain't even worth it. But you know, any of y'all can think of some other strange doctrines. I don't really be seeing a lot of that stuff, man. You know some strange ones?
yeah.
What you know?
I don't even want to go mine and try to dig something out.
White people come from Canaanites.
White people want to tell.
Oh yeah, that's why they say they try to say white people come from dogs because they got the tail in the back when all it is an extra bone in the spine. God! I'm talking about biblical doctrines. Biblical doctrines. Go ahead, brother. Polygamy. Tony say polygamy.
Salvation is only for Hebrews.
Salvation only for Hebrews? Well, Israelites anyway. What you got, Troy? You got anything? Will, you got something?
Noah's Ark was a spaceship.
Noah's Ark. Whoa. I seen another strange doctrine. They said I seen it again. Dude say the sun and moon go through portals.
Yeah, I used to think about it.
Like this here, but guess what? GOCC say that's what the angels gonna do when they come back to get you. They gonna shoot through portals and let me grab D. Shoot through the other one, let me grab Mouse. Shoot through the other one, grab Johnny. I'm for real, they teach this seriously.
Something coming through the portal now.
Seriously. Man, I'm talking about, boy, first and foremost, somebody got to show me portals in the word first before I can even go for a portal.
Enoch, come on, boy, Enoch, brother.
Man, I ain't going to no Enoch. I need some Torah for that when they're talking about some sun and the moon going through some holes. Multi-dimensional portals for the luminaries.
It's like a snake, man. You go through one side.
But you better leave that stuff alone before you be drunk on it again. But leave that stuff alone, boy. Verse 10. He said, we have an altar where they have no right to eat, which serve the tabernacle. For the bodies of those beasts whose blood is brought into the sanctuary by the high priest for sin are burnt without the camp. Wherefore Yahusha, that he might sanctify the people with his own blood, suffered without the gate. You see what she gave? What did Abraham give her?
Water and bread.
And what that water gonna be signifying? Because when he got hit in the side, what came out? So that means she was going outside the camp suffering a reproach because she put her out because she was despised. You know what I'm talking about? Come on, man. He said, let us go forth unto him without the camp, bearing his reproach. Bearing that dishonor. So we looking at Hagar, and you know what Hagar name mean? It means flight. You know what I'm talking about? Means to leave. You know what I'm talking about? We need to be sitting back looking at, we need to leave outside the camp and go with this man to suffer his reproach. That means we need to come out of the world, man. You need to come out of your flesh. All the things that's sitting back holding you back, like Hebrews 12:1 say, we compass about with a great crowd of witnesses. Let's lay aside every weight and the sin that easily beset us, that we might run the race with patience. I mean, we need to flee. You need to hit the ground running. You know what I'm saying? Ain't that what Peter told them people on Pentecost? He say, man, flee from this untoward generation and save your soul. Sometimes you're gonna have to get away from certain stuff to get where you want to be at. Come on back to that 21st chapter. But what you think, man? They say Corey looked like a choir director. I say he looked like a chorus teacher or a substitute teacher. I couldn't put choir director on it. I couldn't put choir director on it. He the one said himself he looked like a choir director. Well, I mean, I ain't saying it is. I mean, that's the stereotype. That's what they say. I ain't never seen a choir director to know if they faggots or not. But I know if there's any stereotype with a position that go on with homosexuals, I'm going to pass.
Well, I mean, at that point, homosexuals everywhere.
Huh?
Somebody wearing that nigga tie.
You know what I'm saying? The reason why I say that there, because like this here, you remember that song? Y'all might not know that song. You don't want nobody to get the wrong idea about me. You like this here, don't call me no choir director, buddy. Me and you gonna fight. What you trying to insinuate? I'm just messing with you, babe. That's why I told you myself. I said, I ain't gonna call you no choir director. Yeah, I said I couldn't crack no out. Let's go. Chorus teacher. I'm trying to think of the chorus teacher at Atlanta. It escaped my mind. I think it was a big head white man.
Peter Griffin.
Not Peter Griffin. I don't even know. I never took chorus at Inglewood, so I don't even know who taught that. I said I didn't take it. I know I can't sing. You think you can sing? Oh boy, I can't sing. You sit there and tell that lie. Man, look here, man. You can sell that stuff. You can sell that to somebody else. Have me around here embarrassing and shaming myself. What? They gonna be like this here. I thought my shot was coming back, the dead rising. And they coming just to tell me to shut up. Man, look here, man. You can say you can work on that, because you ain't finna get like this here. He gonna try to convince me. I'm not finna go out there and sing in front of nobody. Okay, we'll sing it with this word and praise him with that. I ain't finna sing him in song. I'm gonna let the professionals state of that one now. See, like T and Mouse them know they was in the choir, but they was in there with people who could cover up their deficiencies. You stand outside alone and ain't nobody out there to cover up them the fish. Oh my God, what pitch is that?
All right.
You ain't gonna get me like that. No, sir. Won't be around here laughing. And I've been picking on people for not being able to sing like that one right there. She knows she can't sing. Always in the car, always trying to sing too. Woo! Woo! I ain't hit the band at the moon. I ain't do that one. Say you band at the moon. Well, y'all don't do tea like that. Don't do tea like that.
I'm so African.
What did though? Who did that? Langston.
It gently.
Just flowed right on out. That's how y'all sounded. TMI said we used to make something happen. And them people used to make her get out the building. I'm just messing with y'all, man. You know, when you're in the choir, that can, seriously though, if you ain't strong, they can cover you up. Cause I know everybody in the school chorus couldn't sing. I knew, boy, some of them niggas that was in the chorus, boy, I know them niggas couldn't sing. No, they couldn't sing. And the worst part is, it's always somebody in the chorus who want to sing lead. No, you can't sing. Come on back to Genesis 21 and 15. Listen what it say now. And the water was spent in the bottle, and she cast the child under one of the shrubs. And she went and sat down over against him a good way off, as it were a bow shot. For she said, let me not see the death of the child. And she sat over against him and lifted up her voice and wept. Elohim heard the voice of the lad, and the Malachim of Elohim called to Hagar out of Shamahim and said unto her, what ailed thee, Hagar? Fear not, for Elohim have heard the voice of the lad where he is. Arise, lift up the lad and hold him in thy hand, for I will make him a great nation. Elohim opened her eyes, and she saw a well of water, and she went and filled the bottle with water and gave the lad drink. Elohim was with the lad, and he grew and dwelt in the wilderness and became an archer. Now, let's sit back and let's look at this right here now. Say after the water was gone, she cast the child under some shrubs. Why is that important?
In the shadow.
Because remember, she's saying, don't faint not for my tribulation, which is for you. Obviously, if Jit ain't got no water, she considering that he finna fall out. Now, I don't think none of us been that thirsty to the point we thought we were gonna faint. Any of y'all ever been that thirsty?
Yes.
Like you literally thought you were finna fall out?
I was fasting.
I had to suck. I don't think I ever been that thirsty.
In that truck, why ain't no water nowhere around?
I've been that hungry.
You might have to drive.
Yeah, I've been that hungry where I thought I was gonna fall out, but I ain't never been thirsty where I thought I was gonna fall out. Well, that hunger where you ain't had nothing to eat, you go to get weak. You be like this here boy, like, boy, I think it's over. See that type of hunger, when you be hungry like that there, you get lightheaded.
Yo, they can't stand up too fast.
You know what I'm saying? 'Cause I'm telling you, the whole room spinning. Spinning. But what you think that mean when it say she cast him under some shrubs?
In the shadow. Basically, about scripture talks about being under the shadow of God.
I think this off.
Huh?
I think this off.
Say what now?
I said, I think this off.
The hyssop. You know, that's a purification. Cast you up under some shrubs. You know what shrubs are, right? Bushes. Huh? Well, look at the next verse and let's see what make it even more. Say she sat down and wept, and she lifted up her voice. It also say that the child spoke, that he heard the voice of the lad, and he say, I heard him where he was under the shrub. So think about it. Yah has heard me in my affliction. I gave bread and water, put it on the shoulder of the mother to carry it. She gave the bottle, took the boy, threw him up under some shrubs. And then the Malachim say, I heard him where he was at.
So could the shrubs be similar to the grave?
The grave.
Okay.
Remember, because you know why that's the key thing? Because he said he heard the voice of the lad. You don't never read nothing about what Ishmael said. Just said he heard the voice of the lad. And then when he heard the voice of the lad, he said, I heard him where he was. Where was he? Under the shrub. We know from Hebrews 5 and 7, we're not going to read it because we just read it the other day. He said he heard in Mashiach and that he feared. But now we're going to look at something different then.
Could that be also similar to the crown of thorns?
Yeah. It's over his head. Look at him. That's a blank idea.
That's like,
Should have said it out loud. Huh? But now let me ask y'all a question, right? He said he heard him where he was. If we looking at the shrub of similitude of the grave, who else was heard where they was? You don't read nothing about Joseph crying out in no grave. Who was heard where they was? Sit and really think about it now. If Ishmael is under the shrubs, we looking at the shrubs as the grave. Who else was heard from where they were?
no, Elijah was.
Abel was. Let's look at Hebrews chapter 11. Remember, Abel was dead.
Oh, I heard your voice call out from the grave. Okay. I hear your brother's blood.
11 and 4. Or 11 and 1, I should say. Hebrews 11 and 1. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. For by it the elders obtained a good report. Through faith we understand the worlds were framed by the word of Elohim, so that the things which are seen were not made of things which do appear. By faith Abel offered unto Elohim a more excellent sacrifice than Cain, by which he obtained witness that he was righteous, Elohim testifying of his gifts, and by it he being dead yet speak. So remember now, if Ishmael means Yah has heard me in my affliction, he's been given this water, obviously this bread, been cast under a shrub, so in essence he's dead yet he speaks. You know what I'm saying? Hagar is about to fall out because of the tribulation that Ishmael going through. When the whole time it ended up being for his glory what he was going through, because he ended up making a great nation. He became an archer. You know what a Mashiach is called, the bow of Yahuwah. The bow is given, and only people who use bows are who archers to do what? Shoot arrows. And when the man come back here, what he gonna be coming to do? Slice and dice. But battle axes, you know what I'm saying? But can you imagine just sitting back, boy? You see the sky open up, boy. Whew, whew. I'm talking about in just that natural instinct of sitting there looking at it in that fashion. Because y'all only knows how it's actually gonna look.
It's gonna be something spectacular.
Yeah, and everybody on the earth gonna be shaking in their boot, terrified too, right or wrong. Matter of fact, I didn't say that though. Look at Joel chapter 3. This is how you gonna be looking when that happens.
My bad.
Nigga, and he ready to say, you know, he ain't uploaded the video of you singing yet. Whoa! He threw you under the bus there, Corey.
Well, you know, that's what happens to people when they're not trying the same skills.
Woo! 3 and 16. You say you don't have the same skills, cuz?
I want those two.
Woo!
I hear you.
Wish I did, baby. It's on the field right now.
Well, not our will be done, but yeah.
Yes, it is on. I know it's on the computer. That's why I said it.
Right now, I'm
Yeah.
good. It's not over. That's recording.
Hey man, he trying to spare you. Corey said he don't care. Put it on them. He ain't shame.
At all. You haven't seen some of my other videos.
That boy there. 3 and 16. Yahuwah shall also roar out of Zion and utter his voice from Jerusalem. The Shamahim and the rat shall shake, but Yahuwah will be the hope of his people and the strength of the children of Yasharal. Why would he be the strength? Because trust ye in Yah forever. That's everlasting strength. The firstborn is strength, and you will put your hope in him, and therefore these things wouldn't shake you. Because you would be evidence that even though you were dead, you yet spoke. Why would you yet be dead? Because you would be dead in trespass. Go to Ephesians chapter 2. You would be dead in trespasses and sins. See, the thing that y'all don't sit back and you realize to be able to be deemed righteous before y'all is, you got to be dead in your trespasses and your sins. A lot of times people don't want to stop from their trespasses and sins, and it's what causes us to go off the beaten path, so to speak. Ephesians 2:1. He say, and you have he quickened who were dead in trespasses and sins. Well, we turn around and look at Ishmael, for all intents and purposes, you see him being quickened who was dead in trespasses and sin. Even when we look at Sarah, we're not saying that Sarah was a sinner, but if her womb was barren, that means it was dead. He made it alive while being in trespass and in sin, the way she could bring forth that promised seed. The same way that the ground literally was barren, it wasn't bringing forth no fruit. Then a Mashiach come back forth out of it being quickened, even though he became sin. Not that he committed sin. What this boy always crying? What's wrong with you, boy? Oh, that ain't him? Who that is? What time? Oh, that Joshua back there? I'll never forget that one, that boy. We was out there eating, boy. I don't know, boy, that light that went off. I don't know what he seen. That boy was in there. Oh, that's Joy. He like this here. I say, boy, he looking like he seen a messenger. He wouldn't stop shaking too. She done woke up. She done seen something. Somebody, who that was asked me, did I think little kids had dreams? Somebody asked me that. I wager they do. They just can't tell you about it. I think sometimes you can tell they be having dreams because they be laying there asleep just cheesing. I was like, what is they dreaming about? Then sometimes they wake up like she just did. Boy, I ain't like that.
Terrified.
I'm for real, shoot. They had dreams just like we do. Like this here, they probably dreaming about snacks or something. Who knows? If they little enough, some of them dream about straight boob. That's why they wake up hot. Where was it at? Where is it at? I just seen it. You know what I'm saying? You wonder if you done breastfed, you wonder why they wake up, they ready to latch on. That's probably why. Sitting around there dreaming about the boob. I know he wake up ready for it all the time. He could go to sleep about thinking about breasts. Not this here. Hey man, he say he like milk. That's where I get my grub from. Come on, man. Do you have any type of discretion? My word. Ephesians 2:1, man. He said, you have he quickened in trespasses who were dead in trespasses and sins, where in time past you walked according to the course of this world, according to the prince of the power of the air, the spirit that now work in the children of disobedience. Yeah, sit back and look at it, right? Today is what? Halloween, right? Every last one of us done been trick-or-treating before. You know what I'm saying? Boy, we was even going around picking up candy 15, 16 years old. No outfit, no nothing, just a bag. Just a bag. Just give it to me. Like this here, boy, I like Reese's Pieces of Cups too. You know what I'm saying? That's the part that tripped me out when you come to the door. They asking you who you are. You know what I'm here for. He asking me who I am. You know what I'm here for. No, school basketball jersey. Now we got to get like Fabulous, man. Just throw it in the bag and let me go about my way. You know what I'm saying? Just throw it in the bag. You say what you want to say. That's how I looked at it though. Put it in the bag. Now I'm gonna tell you though. Me and Greg used to go do it. You know, a lot of dudes we grew up with clowns anyway. So it ain't like this here. We clowning anyway. We didn't walk around our neighborhood just acting a fool. You know what I'm saying? But man, like I told y'all last night, grown people dressing up. I seen that big grown rusty nigga dressed up like Snow White. Boy, I ain't know what to say. Snow White, you 35 years old.
So I got dressed up as a CBS receipt, one of them long receipts off in 1 hour.
Man, I think I stopped dressing up like 11, 12. How old was some of y'all the last time you put on a Halloween cartoon? How old you were, Corey?
My mama didn't do it. Shit like that.
Good for you. How many of y'all were in your 20s and you put on, by show of hands, you put on a Halloween cartoon? Golly, man. You put up,
Just pass.
so you put the
Not
costume.
20, but like 18, 17, just put the mask on.
I'm talking about 20s. How many of y'all dressed up in your 20s? 30s? Shoot, ain't none of y'all in here in your 30s.
Pajama party.
Kira say her mama still dress up. Her mama probably 40. I know it.
They sound like they're ESC.
I'm telling you. That's why them cute. That's why them dudes be out there swinging them signs. They know you big rusty nigga coming to get it.
They sound like ESC school. ESPN.
Mom Duke, 45 years old with the outfit on. I seen another girl I went to Inglewood with. She 32. She dressed up as a doctor. You shouldn't even came out the door like this. I'm talking about fishnet stockings, man, and a one-piece bathing suit on.
Is he a doctor?
Yeah, she's actually a psychologist. She is actually a doctor.
That explains a lot.
You know what I'm saying?
It's not working.
She came out there with a Mood Sun outfit on with just a lab coat on. You open it up, everything out there. I say, boy, you grown. I say, screw Halloween. Why you even came outside like that? You know what I'm talking about? Well, y'all know y'all done seen some women with certain outfits. Boy, I'm talking about word or no word. You like, baby, you shouldn't have came out the door like
They
that.
don't have any friends. If they had any real friends, they would have told them not to leave the house like that.
Like this here, boy, I done seen girls come out here outfit, man, like all this here is exposed. Like it's holes in the dress, so all you see is the flesh up the side.
It's busted too. It's trying to ooze out.
You know what I'm saying? Then there's some of them already, they got hot dog packs on their body, so this stuff is squeezing up out of there, look outright disgusting. You know what I'm saying? And you wonder why I go off if any, and y'all wonder why I would go off if any of y'all would dress like that. But you know what I'm saying? But then I'm for real though, you see some of the women, you like, boy, I'm talking, boy, you know that's rough if a man be like, baby, why you came out the door like that? Girl, go put some clothes on. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about, I'm talking about not even in the word, but you know that bad if a grown man look a woman in the face and tell her, girl, you need to put clothes on. I ain't talking about not because she nasty body, like leave something to the imagination. You know what I'm saying? Everything out.
I'm not wondering. It wasn't.
They say you ain't have to worry about if you were wondering or not. It's here.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I ain't see too many people on mine post pictures of what they had on. They probably gonna do it tonight. You know what I'm talking about? But it's grown people, man. I remember one of your dudes dressing up like a vampire. Nigga, you 30. Dressing up like Frankenstein. Dressing up like Batman. Nigga, you 30. I ain't talking about putting no Batman t-shirt on either. I'm talking about the whole suit. I ain't talking about you just got a Batman t-shirt on, I'm Batman. No, nigga got the mask on, the suit on, the whole thing. That's all I would have did. Put a t-shirt on. Okay, you say we to go to this party, because most of these do go to the Halloween party because the women gonna be there, it's gonna be alcohol, they trying to scheme up on something. You know what I'm talking about? And if I'm gonna go and they say I gotta have a costume on to go, it's only one or two things gonna happen. I ain't going, I'm gonna just put a t-shirt on and say whatever on that t-shirt, that's who I am. You know what I'm saying? You got a Derrick Rose t-shirt, who are you? I'm Derrick Rose. That's all it is. That's all she wrote. I'm Derrick Rose. Not just a knee brace, put the face thing on too. Matter of fact, this come with some crutches. You know what I'm saying? Nah, he broke his eye bone, orbital bone. Nigga bowled him in the eyeball during practice. Ain't it though? This Bad Luck Jones, what you call that nigga? He said he don't care nothing about being hurt. He signed a big fat contract.
He talking about the next one already.
I'm telling you, they say you ain't played in 3 years, talking about the next contract. Sit your old brittle body down somewhere.
Sounds like he needs some moringa.
Nah, Moringa ain't gonna help him. He telling ACL joints. Ain't nothing, Moringa ain't gonna say that. Yeah, Moringa ain't gonna say that. But when we look at it, all of us was in the course of the air. Some of y'all used to go to the club every day, every week, 2-3 times a week. Most of us in here were potheads. Some of y'all were drunks. You know what I'm talking about? Some of y'all like to get extra freaky. Some of us sold crack, sold weed. Some of y'all just sold dreams. You know what I'm talking about? Word part war, nobody bought them.
In some cases, some people did buy it.
Look at that. You was a dream seller, huh?
Sold everything.
What you sold? What kind of dream you sold?
Man, hey,
Oh, boy, you know that's serious. We'll across the room say don't say nothing. We gonna follow, we'll lead on now.
Okay, man.
Leave that alone. We'll say leave that alone. You gonna shame yourself in here. Corey say he don't care. He ain't got no shame. Corey say I'm an open book, baby. I lived. You say I only been living 23 years, boy. I've been doing my thing. I'm just messing with him. But I'm for real though. Ain't nobody in this room say they ain't never walked according to the world. You either bought sneakers because the world bought them, bought outfits because the world bought them. You bought CDs because the world was listening to it. You watched TV shows because the world was listening to it. You went to certain clubs and establishments because the world was going. You know a lot of people around here in this city, they went to after 11 because everybody else was going. They went to 618 because everybody else was going. They went to T-Bird because everybody else was going. They went to Jazz Co because everybody else was going. Huh? Where you went? Caduceus. What you know about that? What you doing in there? I'm trying to tell you what you doing in there. I mean, I'm gonna sit back and look at it. We went to the strip club because the world was going. Man, if our homeboy Fred wasn't coming around there talking about Magic City, that wouldn't have hit our mind talking about going in there. He like, boy, they naked in there. We like, what? What'd you say? Let's go. If he don't come and say, boy, they naked in there, that don't cross our mind to go in there. We were going with the course of the air. We were going with what the world was going with. You know what I'm saying? When we look at Yasharal, that's what we were doing. When we sit back and look at it, everything the heathen were doing, we were doing. We were going with the course of the air. They worship Baal, we want to worship Baal. They worship Ashtaroth, we want to worship it. You know what I'm saying? They had a king, we wanted a king. You know what I'm saying? We were going with the course of the air, which was working in the children of disobedience. Remember what he told Samuel? He said, man, they ain't rejected you, they rejected me. You know what I'm saying? He said, why do you keep making an affinity with the people of the land? Why do you, he said, I told you not to do like them. So you can see what we can see that we were dead in them trespasses. Boy, y'all were hot with us. Could you blame him? Now when we sit back and we look at who we are, can you sit back and realize, boy, we had to be some real idiots to follow behind what these people were doing. Why do most of our kids want to be athletes? Because that's what these people do. They make it seem that way. You know what I'm saying? Why they want to be an entertainer? Because then people put it out there. You know, the white folks push their entertainers hard. And what most of you girls had, what the magazine wars y'all had all them pictures on your wall. Word up. How many of y'all? All y'all had, you had your 1-2D then. All y'all had your little favorite little blonde boys y'all around there with lusting after. All up on your wall. I don't even want to know what y'all were doing in your room. You know what I'm saying? Because I know y'all girls are a little nastier with them. A boy can sit back and, you can see too many, a boy sit back and look at, she bad, boy, y'all just sit there and talk to it. Chris Brown, I love you. That man ain't alive. That's a picture. Boy, Mouse, you got to do like I said. Y'all was sitting there, y'all used to sit there and look at them pictures and talk to them. T, stop lying.
Look at that little Romeo on the wall.
You were talking to him, D? At least D honest. D said, yeah, I was talking to Trey Songz. The whole time he won't board. C say, not Trey Songz. Well, who you were talking to then? Pretty Ricky. Oh! Pretty Ricky. All the whole group. Ain't that's the one that did the talk about let's have the dance home? No, we seen that video. No, a nigga made a video. Somebody made a YouTube video about clowning. The nigga was like, let's have a dance off freaking a chair. Oh. Like he went too far with it. Who you had on the wall, Mouth? Bow Wow. You had a Marion, didn't you? Don't say Raz B. I don't even want to know who T had on the wall. I don't think Lil Muffin ain't had nobody on the wall. No, he didn't do none of that. What did you say? Yeah, you're right. You're right. If you did have a wall, who you to put out there?
Me, picture of me.
Just leave it alone, man. Just let it go. It took you too long to get it out. Took you too long to get it out. Look at him, Joseph A. Banks. My feet ain't like, look here, man. I got on loafers, nigga. No, them sneakers.
Oh, boy. Hey, man, niggas did have Lil Kim on their wall.
I ain't have Lil Kim on the wall.
Brittany,
Brittany, who you had on the wall? Oh, you had somebody on that wall. You had somebody on that wall. Brian, who she had on the wall? You had somebody. After we get done, I'm gonna find out who y'all had on the walls. I'm gonna find out. Cause y'all know y'all were walk around your room in your drawers singing to them pictures. Listening to them songs like he's singing to you, standing there looking at that picture. I love you. Y'all know what y'all were doing. Y'all know what y'all were doing. Y'all, how many of y'all used to have them on the wall and y'all would sing and y'all would dance around the room listening to them like they singing to you? Something wrong with y'all. That's why they say all the women always love a singing nigga. Niggas sing you right up out your drawers. That's how y'all got some of them busters when y'all was in high school. He could carry a tune. Look at she looking at Troy. Troy, you tried to sing to D? Oh, you rap to D. He around here rapping to D. Say, I ain't gonna sing to you, babe. I got a hot 16 for you. Come on now, verse 3. He say, among whom also we had our behavior in times past in the lust of our flesh, fulfilling the desires of the flesh and of the mind, and were by nature the children of wrath, even as others. But Elohim, who is rich in mercy for his great love wherewith he loved us, even we were dead in sin, have quickened us together with the Mashiach. By grace ye are saved, and have raised us up together and made us sit together in the Shamahim and Yahushua HaMashiach. Don't you realize that that's the same thing he quickened Ishmael together with Hagar? Because you know what she turned around and did? She came to him and gave him a bottle of water. Then he was revived and got a blessing. Same way when the Mashiach was in the grave, what did he end up doing him? Giving him the Ruach HaKodesh, and he gets up out the grave. But now let's go back to Ruth, where all this started from anyway. It's about 4:35. But can you see in both instances with Sarah, even with Hagar and Ishmael, that they didn't faint, and that the tribulation and suffering was for their glory? You know what I'm saying? Because the suffering that Sarah went through being barren ended up being for the glory of Isaac, because she birthed him and she ended up becoming a mother of all nations. Just like a Mashiach ended up becoming a father of all nations. That's why Isaiah 51, we read it the other day, that's why he say, look unto Sarah that bare you. Look unto the rock which we are hewn. When you women, you turn around here and you look unto Sarah, you're supposed to look at how Sarah operated. But I'm going to tell y'all this here, because y'all know in Genesis 18, you know Sarah did something. You know what she did? No, besides that, she was talking to Abraham and she did something. It's mentioned in 1 Peter chapter 3. Yeah, called him master. That don't mean none of y'all supposed to be telling your wife to do that. You know what I'm talking about? Last time I checked, ain't none of y'all Abraham. You know, that's a bold, like, I ain't never told T to do nothing like that. That's a bold thing, say that, call me my Lord. No, man, don't tell your wife do nothing like that, man. It didn't tell you that in 1 Peter chapter 3 for you to call. He say, even as Sarah called Abraham Lord, submit yourself to your husbands in like manner. He didn't tell you to call your husband that. You know what I'm talking about? Abraham, the father of the faith, boy, you know, for that one there, boy, you got to really be on top of something, man. You know what I'm talking about? Dead real. Like, it ain't never even crossed my mind to do that right there. Not with her. You know what I'm saying? Like, for what? Why would I do that? He didn't even ask her to do that. Yeah, I know, but it's just the fact that what come along with it, though. No, I wouldn't want her to call me that. She called him that on her own. You know what I'm saying? But I just know that, you know, a lot of Israelites, boy, they had a woman, they want their women to do all type of stuff. If you know it's a title, okay, your master. Like, y'all ever seen what that show is? It's a bad example because of the character. But I Dream of Jeannie. No, she wasn't nothing but a demon. But, you know, the dude, I forget his name, or Darren something, whatever his name, it doesn't really matter. That's what she called him, master. You know what I'm saying? That's your ruler, that's who rule over you, that's who you answer to, whatever the case may be. You know what I'm talking about? Now, when you turn around and you look at that, and you look at her calling Abraham that, and we go look at Abraham, which we're not going to do that this afternoon, and you look at who Abraham was and what he did, and you want your wife to call you that, I would sure hope you rolling just like he is. Because, you know, there's a lot of Israelites, they want their wife to call him king. You know what I'm saying? Boy, I done seen stuff, boy, like niggas doing them women to do some wild stuff.
So what if the woman takes it upon herself to do it?
I myself would have tell T don't do it. You got one master, even in my shock. That's good. That's enough for me. You know what I'm saying? That's what he said in Matthew 23. He said, man, you got one master, even in my shock. I'm not your master. I'm not your Lord. You know what I'm saying? Don't call me that. You know what I'm talking about? That's me, though. Matter of fact, look at Matthew 23 where he said that. You can see that, though. Matthew 23 and about verse 7. It's saying to love the uppermost rooms at feasts and the chief seats in the synagogues and greetings in the markets, to be called of men, Rabbi, Rabbi. Be ye not called Rabbi, for one is your master, even a Mashiach, and ye are all brethren. And call no man Father upon the earth, for one is your Father, which is in Shamahim. Neither be called ye masters, for one is your master, even a Mashiach. That's why I wouldn't have her do it. If she took it upon herself, I'm going to just follow that. Just don't call me that. You know what I'm saying? Now, he referring to teacher. You know what I'm saying? But just for me, if she came and say master or look, don't call me that. Don't call me that. You know what I'm saying? You got a king. I'm not your king. I'm your husband. I'm not your king, though. That's just how I look at it. You got a king. Don't call me that. You know what I'm saying? Truth be told, you got to fight the good fight of faith and finish the course to get the crown of life. I don't deserve to be called a king at this time. You know what I'm saying? I ain't received that crown. Don't call me that. You know what I'm saying? That's just me, though. You know what I'm saying? I look at certain things when it comes to the word with it, but that's me, though. I'm not going to let her do that. You know what I'm saying? She too stubborn anyway. So come on back around here to Root Chapter. She ain't going to walk around here and be like, master, no way. I'm a master her right out my front door, though. Go out there and get my groceries. Cook me 6 strips that's going to last me a week. Ain't it, though? These must be strips. These got to be steroid and GMO and fat. Come back around here, we got legions, and you're going to have to be wiping my butt. Who, I mean, because I can't take care of myself. She do it for a living. She sure better do it for me. If I get incapacitated, I can't get up and use the bathroom. You've been wiping people's butt for $12 an hour. You better come wipe mine. I want wet wipes, too. Make sure you get it all up out of them. I want sponge baths and all, 3 times a day.
You gonna be in the tub all day.
So they don't put them in the tub when they give them no sponge bath. They be in the bed, just laying there. A sponge bath is water in a basin with a sponge and wiping. Ain't even, I already took a shower the day before. I just want to be cleansed. Cleanse me with the sponge, please. Ruth chapter 1 now. Now, Emelech means Elohim is my king. Now we're going to look at the name of these 2 sons, right? Let's look at the name of her sons. We got Malhon and Chilhon. Let's look at the first one. You gonna got your seat far back or you got cords on? I'm gonna say, boy, you done messed around and got that back. Malhan means sick. Yeah, that's a lot of money to be losing right there on a book.
I got my
Oh, that's right. You did say you got yours. So you ain't take no loss then. So shoot, thank y'all you lost that bad translation. You ain't pay nothing for it. And chilhad means pining. So when we look at the verse 2, right? The name of the man was Elohim is my king, and the name of his wife was Naomi. And the name of his two sons, Malhan and Kilion, Ephrathites of Bethlehem, Judea, and they came into the country Moab and continued there. Cole, you know what Moab means? We talked about it the other day. You remember? You remember what it means?
Father, I know. Like
Of the father, of my father. This is what they. So they going from the house of bread to the place of my father. Now really sit there and think about that. There's a famine in the land, and they going from the house of bread to the place of my father. And it says, Elimelech, Naomi's husband, died, and she was left, and her two sons. And they took them wives of the women of Moab. The name of the one was Orpah, and the name of the other was Ruth, and they dwelled there about 10 years. Now you know as Israelites would tell you that Ruth was an Israelite. When it say clear as day, they come from Moab. Why they would want to sit here and try to make this woman an Israelite, I know why they would do it, but it lacks common sense in all shape, form, or fashion to even attempt it or try it, but they do it all the time. How many of y'all have actually seen detailed lessons about her being a Moabite? I mean, being an Israelite. You actually watched it. You watched it, Will. I seen one. I watched a little bit of it. It was so disheartening. I stopped watching it.
Their whole point was to justify that
No stranger could be saved because they try to take Judges and try to flip it and say it means something else to justify their stance. Just so y'all know, that's what, if you ever run across that, that's what they do. When they say in the time of the judges, they'll see judges just don't, it mean ruler. See, like this here, see, that was our land in Moab, really, man. He making a clear distinction that they went into Moab. All you got to do is go back and look in the law. He told you that he wouldn't give us their land. You know what I'm talking about? He told us exactly who, he said, you're going to pass through them, I'm not giving you that. He said, that's for the children of Lot. That's for the sons of Lot. That's they inheritance. The same way he told you he wasn't going to give you Esau's inheritance too, didn't it? Say you pass through here, you're not going to get that. That's not yours. He said, keep on going. So when they say that, they just showing you that they don't actually know what the law say. Because the law say clear as day. He told them go straight on past that. It's in Deuteronomy, 1st chapter, if I'm not mistaken. Told them shoot on past. He just don't say Moab. He say that's the inheritance for the sons of Lot. Who are the sons of Lot? Moab and Ammon. Moab and Ammon's land is right next to one another. That's why when you read Isaiah chapter 16, he tell Moab to hide my people there. If that was our land, why would he need to tell another group of people to hide his people in the land that was already theirs? That doesn't make sense. Verse 5, and Malhan and Chilhan died also, both of them, and the woman was left of her two sons and her husband. Then she arose with her daughters-in-law that she might return from the country of Moab, for she had heard in the country of Moab how that Yahuwah had visited his people in giving them bread. When she went forth out of the place where she was, and her two daughters-in-law with her, they went on the way to return unto the land of Yehudah. And Naomi said unto her two daughters-in-law, go return each to her mother's house. Yahuwah deal kindly with you, as you have dealt with the dead and with me. Yahuwah grant that you might find rest, each of you, in the house of her husband. Then she kissed them, and they lift up their voice and wept. Now we look at something. Both of the husbands have died. And now she says she wants to leave the place of her father to go where? She leaving Moab. Where's she going? She going back to Bethlehem. So sit and think about that in your mind, right? I'm leaving the place of my father to go to the house of bread. Let's look at John chapter 6 and about verse 33. And this is also tying on, you sit back and you look at it, right? My delight is going into Moab. They had to leave because there was a famine in the land. Now she beginning to get distressed because her family members are dying. You know what I'm talking about? And in the end, that life is going to be brought out of death from this. She said, thank y'all that you dealt kindly with me and the dead. Why would she say something about dealing kindly with the dead for?
He had to visit those in prison.
All right, now listen, 6 and 33. Make it 32. Yahushua said unto them, truly, truly, I say unto you, Moses gave you not that bread from Shamahim, but my Father give you the true bread from Shamahim. For the bread of Elohim is he which come down from Shamahim and give life unto the world. She said that she heard that Yah had visited the land with bread. The same type of bread you seen was visited to Ishmael when he was in trouble. That same bread gave him strength. And Yahushua, they said unto him, Master, evermore give us this bread. Yahushua said unto them, I am the bread of life. He that come to me shall never hunger. He that believe on me shall never thirst. But I said unto you that ye also have seen me and believe not. All that the Father give me shall come to me. Him that come to me I will in no wise cast out. For I come down from Shamahim not to do my own will, but the will of him that sent me. Now we turn around and look at it. Let's go back and look at what Naomi says right here. This is what she going back to get this bread. I got to come back to where I came from. We got to sit back and look at, we talked about how Mashiach the house last night, right? And you know what they kept in the house that was on the table? Tell them what's on the table, Dwight. The bread. So when you look at the sanctuary, yeah, you missed it. When you look at the sanctuary, set you up nice too. When you look at the sanctuary, inside the sanctuary, there was a table with what?
Oh, you talking about that? Oh,
yeah. That's shoe bread. So in actuality, in the house of Yah, for intents and purposes, it could be looked at as what? Being a house of bread, since there's bread in that house. You're looking at a Mashiach in John chapter 2 saying he spake of the temple of his body, him being the house, and his flesh is bread. You know what I'm talking about? It's meat indeed. So you turn around and look at it, you going into the house of bread. See, this man say if you eat his flesh, you eat that bread that come from Shamahim, you'll live forever and he'll raise you up at the last day. Come on, let's see what Naomi again say to Ruth now. She said, Yah deal kindly with you as you have dealt with the dead and with me. Now, when she's talking about that, not actually for anybody who's crazy, not actually that she was dealing with the dead, like she was participating in necromancy, but that she was dealing with the dead as forth as when they were alive, she was dealt kindly with them. You know what I'm saying? These were these women's husbands. See, hold this roof and look at 1 Peter chapter 3. Since I reference it, we'll go ahead and look at it. 3 and 5. Make it 3 and 4. He say, but let it be the hidden man of the heart, in that which is not corruptible, even the ornament of a meek and quiet spirit, which is in the sight of Elohim of great price. Well, obviously, if she dealt kindly with her husbands while they were alive, then obviously Ruth had a meek and quiet spirit. I don't think Orpah had done dipped yet. We done read that part where she done left yet. Then it says, for after this manner in the old time, the Kadesh women also who trusted in Elohim adorned themselves, being in subjection unto their own husbands. Even as Sarah obeyed Abraham, calling him master, whose daughters ye are, as long as ye do well and are not afraid with any amazement. When we come back over here to Ruth, we're going to see that what's being shown to Ruth, she's not afraid, nor is she amazed at anything that happened to her. So she dealt kindly with the dead, meaning she dealt kindly with her husband. See, you women have to realize that you would have to deal kindly with your husband. Like I was talking to y'all about the other day, some of y'all sitting around there talking about you want to be with somebody, your whole conversation is centered around sex, centered around trivial matters, pure and utter nonsense. How you actually preparing yourself to be somebody's wife and y'all talking of nothing of no substance. You know what I'm saying? Like when you young, I can see if you 16, 17, 18 years old and your conversation centered around sex, You grown people saying you in the way of y'all, and your whole conversation centers around things that are of the flesh. You ain't even sit back looking at, let me learn this man and know what he likes and he dislikes, not because you want to present yourself to be what you think that man wants, but because you want to be able to know how to serve your husband and deal kindly with him. See, some of y'all get mad, y'all will shoot off at your mouth, talk reckless, talk crazy. Sarah wouldn't have done that. It said, look unto the Sarah under whom bear you. Well, when you look unto Sarah who bear you, that's not how she conducted herself. If she sat back and she looked at her, called her husband master, that's because she obeyed him. She respected his authority. She respected everything he had going on. Now, obviously, he had to give her something to respect. You know what I'm talking about? But if he gave her something to respect, then y'all women need to sit back and look at it. If you don't feel like you can obey your husband and everything or obey that man, why are you dealing with him? All you doing is setting yourself up to go to hell. How can you be in this way? You say you want to be married, you want to be somebody's wife, you want to be somebody's husband, and you're not even having adult conversations. You know what I'm saying? Now, we done sat back and clown about that period of time. You know, y'all be talking to each other in the beginning. You be on all that sappy, old, happy type stuff. Okay, that's all well and good. But after a period of time now the thing's supposed to start to get real. You talking about, okay, I might be interested in, because if you dating somebody, I would hope you would be dating them for the end result would be that you could be married to this person. Because we agree on that. So if you saying that's the end result, then why you not having adult conversations with that person along them lines then? You know what I'm saying? Because you talking about building a life with somebody, and all you worrying about is what position you can get them in. You know what I'm talking about? You know, ain't nothing wrong with going out and doing that type of stuff. That's all you care about. You know what I'm saying? I mean, seriously though, you got to seriously think about that. If you sit there saying, I want to date somebody, all you got to sit back and look at, what do y'all conversations entail? What do you actually discuss? Have you actually had an adult conversation? You know what I'm saying? And if you had an adult conversation, which party didn't seem too happy to want to have this conversation and wanted to shift it to something that was a lot more frivolous or immature? You know what I'm saying? You got to think about that type of stuff, man. Because if you saying, I'm looking at this man to be my husband, or I'm looking at this woman to be my wife, and she can't even have an adult, or he can't even have an adult, mature, responsible conversation on what you possibly could be considering and forth as building a life together, both of y'all retarded if you entertain it. You know what I'm saying? I just wasn't saying that to y'all just cause, yeah, I mean, nah, man, me and T don't sit around and ain't really had them type of conversations. Like, I know some of y'all extra freaky, y'all be ready to have, you just waiting for something to be said. Sure will. Like, I might clown about that type of stuff when we in here, but we don't really sit around and talk about that type of stuff, man. She got something she trying to do, I got something I'm trying to do, we trying to work together so both of us can get it done. So, we can jump somewhere and go on a quick vacation and come back for Wednesday come. You know what I'm saying? That our kids ain't got to really work for nothing. You know what I'm saying? That we can actually leave them something and give them something. That we can actually have something better for them than what we had for ourselves. You know what I'm saying? We can also talk about other stuff that ain't that serious. You know what I'm saying? Ain't sit like every conversation is dead serious. But if you talking about you want to be married to somebody, I mean, it's got to come up sometime. Wouldn't y'all agree? Yeah. It got to come up sometime. You know, that was all cool when you were in your teens and your 20s. Well, some of y'all still in your 20s. Well, I have to keep remembering that. You know what I'm saying? Early 20s at that. You know what I'm saying? It's all good, but when you talking about doing something like this that is this serious, you know what I'm saying? And you talking about, because you know you can't do like what you've been doing, just snag you somebody and get freaky and go out from time to time. You know what I'm saying? Like this, it's some weight to this. And if it's some weight to it, then you need to have weighty conversations from time to time. Just like he said, you know what I'm saying? You omit the weightier matters of the law. You shouldn't leave that undone. That don't mean you can't talk about lighter things and, you know what I'm saying, this, that, there, and the third. But you can't just omit the weightier stuff and then just, oh, yeah, let's get married and then try to figure that stuff out 2-3 months before y'all want to get married. Or when you actually do get married, because you ain't never thought about it. You ain't never talked about it. You know what I'm saying? Like I told y'all the other day, man, you get married, man, sex is only about 2% of your whole marriage. It's the 98% of it is made up of other things. I done told y'all before, it's a partnership. You know what I'm saying? You have to sit back and look at it. Is this somebody you want to go into business with? And when you going into business, when you talking about you running a house together, you raising kids together, You know what I'm saying? You got to sit back and look at all, you're doing everything together. But most of all y'all sitting back looking at it is, you just want somebody to say you got somebody, and you want to be able to bump uglies. That's all it really boils down to. That's all it really wanted. That's all really most of y'all want to do. You just want to have somebody. Well, it's bigger than just having somebody, boy. If you that lonely, you need to get back. You need to look at yourself and judge yourself and see what's lacking in yourself. The why you feel you need a companion that bad to make you feel validated. Because you shouldn't seek no validation from any other human being other than y'all. That's the only person you need to seek to have you validated. A husband is not going to validate you. A wife is not going to validate you. Children are not going to validate you. You need to be validated within your own self, and then you can actually be a husband to somebody. You can actually be a wife to somebody. You can be a parent to somebody. You know, confidence is a very, very serious thing, and if you know you lack confidence, you need to get your confidence up, and whatever it is you lacking, or you're going to fail. Now, I know everybody in this room at some point in time in their lifetime, myself included, done lack confidence in some area in their life in something. And you ain't had too much success at what you were trying to do when your confidence was low in that area, now did you? Now, when you took the time to get your confidence up in that area and you went to go do it, I bet you had a little bit more success than what you had before you did it the first time. Got to get your confidence up. Come on back to Ruth chapter 1. So she asked that Yah would grant them rest in the house of her husband. So how do we look about getting rest in the house of her husband? What would you take from that, Lane? Come here, Lizzie. No, I mean, I don't know how to make her stop, because she ain't going to want to come. What y'all think that could mean about having rest in the house of your husband? Anybody got an idea? Absolutely. But how? We read it last night. We read it last night. Yeah, he is the house. He is our husband. But let's sit back and think about what feast is here. 19, Revelation, verse 9. Because she said you dealt kindly with the dead. You sit back and look at it. Mashiach said, I'm dead, but I live forevermore. If you believe on him who died for you and rose again from the dead and you serve him, you would deal kindly with your husband because you obey. Like basically for a woman to deal kindly with a man is for her to follow his instruction and follow his way. You know what I'm saying? Now we sit back and look at it. If we parts of his body, that means we joined unto him, which means we joined to be a wife. If we joined to be a wife, we need to deal kindly with our husband, since our law say that you should be subject to your own husband. He'll rule over you. Remember when we talked about that earlier in the year, man, about, you know, men be quick to scream that they want their wife. You got to obey me. I'm your husband. You ought to obey me. But then you got to sit back and look at, you are Mashiach's wife. He your husband. Do you obey your husband? Is your desire to your husband? I'm talking like the men, because, you know, Hebrew men be quick to throw that in the women's face. They supposed to listen to them, man. And rightfully so, because they supposed to. You know what I'm saying? But then at the same time, are you listening to your husband? Are you following that same pattern that you want that woman to follow? Because if you're not following that same pattern, why would she obey you? Why would she do that? That's the same way. Ain't a big grown rusty nigga. That's the same way you women want your kids and you men want your kids to obey you, but yet you not obeying. Why would y'all give you obedient children? Why would he do that? That don't make any sense. Unless he let your children obey you, because he want to make sure you and your whole house go to hell. Yeah, you ain't think about that one there. You disobedient at the day is long. Your kids listen to everything you say. And you thinking, I know y'all with me. Shoot, my kid listen. You going. Same way I was talking to y'all about, people be like, I know y'all heard me. Don't get King Ahab down here. He had 400 prophets sitting back saying the same thing. Y'all had done lied to all of them. So I ain't gonna say he lied to him. He sent a lying spirit in their mouth. And they lied, and he lied to that man. Satan was right in their mouth. Yeah, go on up there, you straight, because I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna kill you. So you guess what he thinking? Y'all was with him. If Micaiah not, if Jehoshaphat don't say, is there anybody else here? Ahab thinking, y'all with me, boy. I'm good. He heard me. He here to protect me. You know, they don't tell us about stuff like that, that man operate like that. 19 and 5. And the 24 elders and 4 beasts fell down and worshiped Elohim that sat on the throne, saying, Amen, hallelujah. And a voice came out of the throne, saying, Praise our Elohim, all ye his servants, ye that fear him, both small and great. And I heard it as were a voice of a great multitude, and as the voice of many waters, as the voice of a mighty thundering, saying, Hallelujah, for Yahuwah Elohim omnipotent reign. Let us be glad and rejoice and give honor to him, for the marriage of the Lamb is come, and his wife has made herself ready. We're going to come back and look at this before this week concludes, before Monday, hopefully y'all willing. We'll sit back and look at Ruth. And Ruth is going to be following that same similitude. And Boaz is going to be following the similitude of Mashiach, because you're going to see Ruth making herself ready for her husband. She's sitting here now, she sit back and say, may Yah bless you to find rest in the house of your husband. Well, we look at the house of our husband. The house of our husband is Jerusalem. This is the place where he dwells. This is the place where he chose out of all the places of Yehuda to place his name at. That's where he chose. That's the house of your husband. I want to see how long she just stay like with. That was a little rough there for you on Lizzie. See how she looking. I appreciate you coming to get me. Y'all just looked at me. We're going to see how long you were going to last on that. You know, we seek to return back to our father's house. This is what she telling them to go back to Moab, right? Moab means of our father. You know what I'm talking about? That's what she telling them. I hope you find rest in the house of your husband. She telling, that's what she telling them to go back at. So when we look at John 14 and 1. Listen what he tell you. You sit back and you're going to see Ruth do the same thing. Her heart wasn't troubled. She trusted in Naomi. She trusted in my delight. And we know what Ruth name mean. What it mean, Troy or Corey? My friend. You know, we talked about that a little bit, didn't we? About my friend. Let not your heart be troubled. Ye believe in Elohim, believe also in me. In my father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you, I go to prepare a place for you. And if I go prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you unto myself where I am. There you may be also. Mashiach was sitting back saying, telling them that I pray y'all bless you to have rest in the house of your husband. Yahusha is our husband. That's what Isaiah 54 tells us, right? We read about that last night, right? About the voice of the bride and the voice of the bridegroom. When he turned back to captivity, that we would be just like Sarah said, those that I laugh, they'll laugh with me. You know she had to have been prophesying when she said that, because who was she? It wasn't nobody around to hear her laugh but Abraham. You know what I'm talking about? She was giving a prophecy of what would happen in that day when we would find rest in the house of our husband. That we would have peace forevermore. Ain't y'all looking for that? Go back there and be able to laugh. You know what I'm talking about? At the stuff that used to make you cry, you can laugh about it now. Come on back to Ruth, man. Little Mike, you ain't getting busted upside your head now, is it? Bust him. We in verse 10. And they said unto her, surely we will return with thee unto thy people. Naomi said, turn again, my daughters, why will you go with me? Are there yet any more sons in my womb that they may be your husbands? Turn again, my daughters, go your way. I'm too old to have a husband. If I should say I have hope, if I should have a husband also tonight, and should also bear sons, would you tarry for them till they were grown? That's how you know we ain't no pedophile. You see what this Hebrew woman told them? If I had a husband tonight, would you stay with them till they grown? I don't know where these niggas get talking about, boy, they marrying girl 12, 13 years old, because she ain't grown no 12, 13 years old. She said, will you wait till they grown? So guess what that means? Boy, there's some nasty niggas out here talking about, boy, them niggas be on the street corner with that. Boy, they go in public with it. It's bad enough you put it on YouTube. You go in public talking about you want to hit a 12-year-old girl? You go in public talking about you want a 12-year-old. Now, if you were walking down the street hearing somebody preach about I can have me a 12-year-old, what would you think about him? It made me think about that video. Was that you tagged me in that video? I think that video with them people were doing that crazy clown stuff. Mm-hmm. He ran up on him one though. That's just how you supposed to do it. How cut up that fire. All right now. And white folks gonna learn. Boy, that whole group of niggas came out there and jumped that. Wow, the white boy wasn't ready for that. It's a prank. Yes, sir. Now, the fact, Buddy, who they were getting jumped, he ain't even said it was a prank. He stayed right on there running that camera. He stayed right on there running that camera. Boy, them boys, they look like they need some help. Boy, black people hard, boy. I'm talking about, boy, they jumped the brakes off Buddy. They sitting there looking, them boys looked like they were finna run. That was the whole throw off. They swarmed. That's how you supposed to do a grown man on the street corner talking about he wants sex with a 12-year-old. Girl ain't even hit puberty yet. Ain't even got no pubic hair. What's wrong with you? Ain't even a full age. You know what I'm saying? I was talking to Candace about it. It's funny to me too. Like, if we see pictures of the girls that we went to high school with, when they was in school, they were so small. I'm talking about they body frames and everything. You be like, boy, in that time period, you didn't look that small. You know what I'm talking about? But we turn around and look at it, and it ain't necessarily that say they done got big or fat or nothing. You know what I'm saying? But you look at them now, and then you look then, they be like, boy, y'all look like y'all was sick. You know what I'm talking about? I'm talking about bones sunk in. Yeah. Yeah, now she done got all type of, she just had a baby not too long ago. She was like this, man. She was like this. Matter of fact, the girl I was talking about who had the doctor outfit on, she went to Inglewood and she was there, she was like this. She was like that even in college in her 20s. So I'm sitting back looking at it. That's why I had one, somebody we went to school with said they had pictures of me when we were young. I said, man, send me them. Cause I want to see, boy, how small was we really? Man, we been knowing how big that was. Like, I know you ain't tight. He like this here, man. He can say that dome, nigga. At least I wasn't looking like no Greyhound, nigga. See all that nigga ribs and bite. Like this here, put that. I wasn't never that skinny. I wasn't never that skinny. You can see my ribs was. I wasn't never that skinny. I wasn't never that skinny. You can see my ribs now. I was slim, but I wasn't that slim. Yeah, I want to say I wasn't never that slim. I was slim. I wasn't that slim. You know what I'm saying? I'll tell you, I was skinny, but what it was is I ain't know that if I'd have known about lifting weights, that I could have filled into my body a long time ago. You know what I'm saying? I ain't know nothing about lifting no weight. Man, we ain't lifting no man. We ain't no man. Look, we ain't no fool with none of that. With Breon. Breon went to basketball, played basketball, came back one summer. We sit back. Well, came back. We all in the park. Nigga like, what happened to you? Nigga say, boy, I've been working out. That's it. But we ain't never sit around talking about let's go lift some weight, work out. Nigga ain't talking about let's feel into your body. Where that weed at? You know what I'm saying? Where that weed at? I gotta go to work today. You know what I'm saying? Gotta go to KFC. I'm finna steal. You know what I'm saying? Straight up. That's all I'm thinking about. I'm finna go to work and steal. And buy me 4 bags of weed when I get to the house. And smoke all 4 and go back to work tomorrow and steal some more and do it all over again. That's how we were living, man. Verse 13, would you tarry for them till they were grown? Would you stay for them from having husbands? Nay, my daughters, for it grieves me much for your sakes, that the hand of Yahuwah is gone against me. Now she's grieved, and she trying to tell them, let's see what's going on. And they lift up their voice and wept again, and Orpah kissed her mother-in-law, but Ruth claved unto her. Now we already talked about this earlier. She claved unto her because why? Ruth, the friend, became what? One. Come over here to John chapter 15 just to refresh your memory. Get your James chapter 2 verse 22 along with it. And Romans chapter 4 about verse 21. So my friend clave unto my delight. We know this is my beloved son in whom I'm well pleased. Look what he say now. 15 and 10. If you keep my commandments, you shall abide in my commandments, abide in my love, pardon me, even as I've kept my Father's commandments and abide in his love. These things have I spoken unto you, that your joy might remain in you, that your joy might be full. This is my commandment, that you love one another as I have loved you. Greater love have no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends. So when you look at his tribulation, which he about to suffer, because you know his apostles, they done ran, you know what I'm talking about? All this type of stuff. This might have been a little bit too much for them to take. But everything that man went through, getting spit on, being these people lying on him, you know, coming to shed the innocent blood, being slapped in the reed, slapped with that rod in his face. All these things was for our glory. Remember what he said in Luke 24 and 25. Had not a Mashiach suffered to enter into his esteem, and beginning at Moses and all the prophets, he expounded unto them the things concerning himself. The only way this man could be able to be honored and glorified to Yah is that he had to suffer. That's why he told you in Acts chapter 14 and about verse 22 that you must endure, because through much tribulation you'll enter into the kingdom of Shamayim. When you look at every man in this book that received anything from Yah, they went through something before they got it. Abraham went through something before he got it. Even Isaac went through something before he got it. Jacob went through something before he got it. Joseph went through something before he got his esteem. Mordecai went through something before he got his esteem. You know what I'm saying? Mordecai had to keep the people from fainting from what was going to happen to him because Haman was trying to kill him. You know what I'm saying? Before David entered into his esteem, what ended up happening? He had to end up suffering such much tribulation. All that there was for the esteem of Yasharal, because he was able to subdue the land to where there was rest in the days of his son Solomon. When you look at every one of these people, you look at Job. His wife was ready to faint, wasn't it? Just go ahead, curse him and die. He said, you talk like the foolish women speak. All that stuff that he went through ended up being esteemed for his whole family, because he ended up getting that what he had in the beginning even more than what he started with. Even what he went through ended up being the esteem for his friends, because he ended up making intercession on their behalf that Yah might accept them. You know what I'm saying? They didn't like this here because his homeboys like this here. Boy, you did something wrong. You did something wrong. He said, don't faint at my tribulations. They for your glory. You know what I'm saying? You have to sit back and look at that. That's why we read that the other day in Hebrews 12, where he say, lift up the feeble knees. You know what I'm saying? Let not your heart be faint, but that which is lame, let it be made straight, lest you be turned out the way. You know what the book say? You know the book say, boy, if you faint in the time of adversity, he say your strength is small. If you faint in the time of adversity, that means your faith is small. That's why Paul telling them, don't faint for my tribulations, which is for your esteem. Your faith should be, boy, you know that's something your faith that weak, you finna faint about what somebody else going through. That don't even make no sense, though. You'll lose your faith because somebody else suffering. I know if you lose your faith because somebody else suffering, you're going to lose your faith when you got to suffer. You're not going to be willing to do it. You're not going to be able to put it. And it don't matter what's going to happen to you. So if you end up homeless, you'll quit serving Yah after that. If you ended up hungry or naked, if you lost your job, you'll quit serving Yah after that. If all your friends and your family ain't want to talk to you no more, you'll quit serving Yah after that. Yah forbid, if one of your children died, would you quit serving Yah after that? You know what I'm saying? You have to sit back and look at that. For some people, boy, if their child died, man, if he was a merciful God, why would he take my daughter? And they'll be done with it. That was in your heart already. That's why he took it. Some of y'all, if the person you dealing with quit doing the word, you'll quit it too. We done already seen that there, because we know one person, they following that man wherever he go. You know how dumb you got to be to follow somebody to hell? You know what they doing is wrong. You trying to convince yourself it's right though. Cause you just want to go where they going. That's retarded. That's when you got to do like if you on the city bus. Press the button, stop requesting, and get off. It's time to get off that bus. That don't make any sense. But you know, people do it every day. See, you look at what Ruth did. Ruth looking at, I'm going to cleave to her. I'm going to be joined to her. Verse 14 though, he said, ye are my friends. If you do whatsoever I command you, henceforth I call you not servants, for the servant know not what his master do. But I've called you friends, for all things I've heard of my Father I've made known unto you. Don't you know we can go read in Genesis 18, he say, shall I hide from Abraham the things that I do? Ain't that what he said? You know why he said that to Abraham? Because he was his friend. James chapter 2 verse 25, because he was his friend. 22 actually. Even when you turn around and look at it, Sarah, even if we look at it in reverse, Sarah was ready to faint because she hadn't gave Abraham a child. You hadn't heard Abraham say anything. It was because of the tribulation that Abraham went through. It ended up being her esteem that we know Sarah to be the mother of all nations because she brought forth Isaac. So even his trouble ended up being for Sarah's glory. Just like Sarah's trouble ended up being for Isaac's glory. James 2 and 22. It's going to make it 17 though. Even so, faith, if it have not works, is dead, being alone. You're just having a rough day today, ain't you? Listen. Yay. All right, listen. Just having a rough day. All this has been a rough one for you. Yea, a man may say, thou hast faith, and I have works. Show me thy faith without thy works, and I will show thee my faith by my works. Thou believe that there is one Elohim, thou do well. The devils also believe and tremble. But wilt thou know, O vain man, that faith without works is dead? Was not Abraham our father justified by works when he offered Isaac his son upon the altar? See thou how faith wrought with his works, and by works was faith made perfect. And the scripture was fulfilled, which saith, Abraham believed Elohim, and it was imputed unto him for righteousness, and he was called the friend of Elohim. Romans chapter 4 and about verse 18. Now Abraham was willing to trouble his own son. He didn't faint at that tribulation that his son was about to go through. He went up there to offer him, didn't he? So when he went up there to offer him, it ended up being for Abraham's glory and his son's glory because he was able to seal what he had promised to Abraham. But the reason being because he had made all things known unto Abraham. You know, Yah always makes things known to those who know him. That's common sense. He hid it from the wise and prudent and revealed it unto babes, even though because it seemed good in our sight. That's why he told you in John chapter 14, verse 15, with the spirit of truth, he said the world cannot receive it. He said you can receive it because the world don't know it. You know, when you look at Yah's word, it's not revealed to everybody in the world because everybody because everybody don't know it. Most people don't care to want to know it. Let me get to Romans chapter 4. We look at about verse 18, I should say. Matter of fact, this going to make it 16. Thereof it is of faith that it might be by grace to the end of the promise, might be sure to all the seed. Not to that only which is of the law, but that to which is of the faith of Abraham, who is the father of us all. As it is written, I have made thee a father of many nations. Before him whom he believed, even Elohim, who quickened the dead, and called those things which be not as though they were, who against hope believed in hope, that he might become the father of many nations, according to that which is spoken, so shall thy seed be. You know, that's what really messed a lot of y'all up is y'all, you heard what he just told him? He said, who against hope believed in hope. See, you know what mess a lot of y'all up? In the things, against things that don't look like they can happen, he still believed in it. Some of y'all done been in a situation where you didn't believe something was happening, but believed it happened, but you believed it still would happen anyway. That's what he's sitting there. He said against hope, he still believed in hope. It doesn't seem, because we already read it. I'm 100 years old. My wife is 90. Are we really going to have a baby? He laughed at in himself when he said, before he said that, didn't he? But nevertheless, he believed him anyway, because he said, so shall thy seed be. So even against hope, you still got to believe that. Is anything too hard for y'all? There's nothing too hard for y'all. You know what's you know what stopped y'all from doing anything for you? Your lack of faith and your old lack of obedience. Why would y'all do anything for somebody who don't believe and trust? How many of y'all, by show of hands, would do something for somebody who don't believe and trust in what you're saying? You're going to do something for them. I know I would. How many would you do something for somebody if you know they believed and trusted in what you said? Would you go do something for them? Well, that's how y'all sit back and look at it. Why am I going to do something for Troy? Troy don't even believe what I told him. I say, Troy, I need you to go walk around the corner 40 paces and bend this right. Man, what's out there? You know, that's the first thing we'll go to looking at. Why? Why? If you serve y'all, you know his voice, and you believe in him. I'm just using that as an example. And he send you to go do something. Why wouldn't you go do it? People always say, so God talked to you? I'd be like, man, you just tell him this here. He don't talk to me. Why he only talk to you? Because you know, people say the Most High talk to him all the time, right? But then you sit back and look at it. If he talking to you, whatever he telling you, it would be according to his will. So you know, most of the people you see on TV talking about, the Spirit gave me a word for you, brother. He say, sow your seed of $500 into this ministry. That's what the Spirit told me to tell you. I prophesy into your life. You know y'all ain't told that man no junk like that. You know what I'm saying? You got some of these dudes come up and say, y'all said you gonna be my wife. Open your legs for me now. So you gonna tell me y'all say you gonna be my husband, but I gotta have sex with you before I actually marry you. Hey, but dudes do it, and guess what? And women go for it. And women go for it. Don't you know? I'm talking about how I done seen stories about that where dudes done came and told a woman, you my wife, but you gotta bust it wide open before we get married, because I gotta sample it out first. And they go for it. And they go for it. Ain't nowhere in the world if I was a woman I'd go for that way. When you come back with this paperwork, you can get it all you want. Till then, holler back. Cause you know full well he ain't coming back. You tell him something like that. Nigga running game. I know I seen your homeboy, he back on the scene. Halak, he back on the scene. Going extra hard. Harder than he did before. Talking about I'm trying to get everything back. I lost everything. You lost everything because you were wicked. You can't be around here beating on no women and think y'all gonna let you keep that. You got 2-3 wives, you beating on all of them. And guess what? He came at them women with that same type of junk. You could be my wife, just give me them draws first. That's what he tell them. That's a true story. Dudes do stuff like that. Or slide. They going for it. Am I lying to you? It's women out, they go for it. Dude walk up here. Y'all said you are my wife. Come with me. Like this here, have sex with me. Hit him with it in the inbox too. Not just in person, in the inbox. Boy, you know you got to be some mean type of pimp to sell that type of game in the inbox.
I mean, you know, in the inbox, I mean, you send out to probably 20 women a day. Maybe you probably get.
I'm talking about, I mean, it ain't even about, I ain't even talking about no ratio, because I'm talking about they don't get them with the first inbox. Like for you to go for something like that in the inbox message, something got to be seriously wrong with your self-esteem. You know what I'm saying? That you ain't even talking to this person. This person has persuaded you to leave your place of residence and open your legs to him. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know if they didn't even got that far to get the persuade game going with a phone call. Because I just done seen too many women say they didn't got with inboxes. That's why a lot of them start leaving the word alone, because these niggas spit these girls out like grapes. Just like Mike Tyson said. Like grapes. Spitting them out. Running through them. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta sit back and look at it. Because Abraham knew Yah, he knew the will of Yah, he knew what Yah was sending him to do. That's why he believed. That's why against hope, he believed in hope. Because he knew who he served. Come on, let's read about verse 19. And not being not weak in faith, he considered not his own body now dead, when he was about 100 years old, neither yet the deadness of Sarah's womb. He staggered not at the promise of Elohim through unbelief, but was strong in faith, giving esteem to Elohim, and being fully persuaded that what he had promised he was able to perform. Therefore he imputed it to him for righteousness. Now it was not written for his sake alone that it was imputed to him, but for us also, to whom it was imputed, if we believe on him that raised up Yahusha, our master, from the dead. You look at it, he said he didn't consider his own body being now dead, nor the deadness of Sarah's womb. You got to realize that Mashiach had that same confidence and faith in the Father, not considering that he was about to die, nor that his womb was dead had he had not produced any fruit, but yet he told him, like we read last night in Isaiah 66 and Isaiah 26 and all these places, about how he would bring forth a nation at once, and he would not shut the womb, and that he would make it a seed, not seeds as in many, but seed as in singular, that seed being a Mashiach. A Mashiach didn't stagger at that promise. He went up on that stake and he died. He took that bottle of water, he took that bread, he put it on his shoulder, he went out there into the wilderness outside the camp and bared that reproach. The same way Abraham, he said, not looking at Abraham, looking at his own body being now dead. Hamashiach told his disciples he was going to die numerous times, didn't he? So he looking at his body is dead. I ain't got no seed. He looking at his womb, it ain't been open. Remember, Mashiach hadn't been hit in the side, so his womb hadn't been open. Just like Sarah's womb hadn't been open, right? Closed, correct? Now he get ready, he go die, and he up there on that tree, and they do what? Hit him in the side, and what ends up happening? Open his womb. And after his womb is open and his body's now dead, he raised from the dead, and now them men resurrect from the dead, coming up out of his womb. He done gave birth to that promised seed. He didn't stagger at that promise. Did he sit back and look at, he said, Father, let this cup pass, right? But not my will be done, but thy will be done. And then he said, arise, the son of man, the son of Adam, going to be betrayed in the hand of sinners. Let us be going. What he said when they stood up, he said, all the things that are written of me in the scriptures must be fulfilled. So he didn't stagger at the promise looking at his body already being dead, because he was slain from the foundation of the world. So his body was already dead. His womb was already shut. I'm just sitting back looking at it, you should be able to see that he Abraham and Sarah at the same time. When it comes to this, can you see that? Does that make sense for you? Well, let's come back to the book of Ruth, because we finna get out these people establishment. So you see all that tribulation he went through, that was for our glory. All that Abraham went through, that was for our glory. What Sarah went through, that was for our glory. Even what Hagar and Ishmael went through, that was for our glory, because all these things are testifying of Mashiach. You know what I'm saying? And when you see that they didn't faint, that those who were looking at who was going to get the glory from the person who was going through the tribulation, because Ishmael didn't faint. You know what I'm talking about? Hagar was about to fall out, but then we turn around and see the opposite. Hagar about to fall out, and Ishmael didn't faint. You know what I'm talking about? Because she's looking at the trouble of Ishmael being cast out. I had other stuff in my head and I ain't getting nowhere to. Verse 16, where we at? Verse 15 is where we at. And she said, behold, thy sister-in-law is gone back unto her people and unto her gods. Return thou after thy sister-in-law. That's the same thing that happened in John chapter 6 when he told them to eat his flesh. They went back to their gods, which was their own heart, their stubbornness, their idolatry, whatever they serving, their family, their friends, their job, their money, whatever their God was, they went back to go serve that. See, we can't do that. See, they were delivered the set apart commandment and they went back. It was better for them not to ever have heard it. You know what I'm saying? Ruth sat back and looked at, I hear what you're saying, but I'm not going to depart from you. I'm not going back. See, some of y'all sit back and y'all go back. When I say go back, you go back on your lust. Like we already read in Ephesians, you were dead in your trespasses and sins. You were made alive from them. You used to walk according to the course of the world, but you going back to this stuff though. So you got to sit back and look at things, man. When you talk about being set apart, I mean all things get eliminated. Even things, if something too close to a pagan god, just don't fool with. Like we didn't sit back and say, oh, so y'all gonna not say liberty because it's too close to a Greek god that like to get freaky. I'd rather not say it. You know what I'm saying? Because Exodus 23 tells us to be circumspect and don't even make no mention of these gods out your mouth. You know what I'm saying? So we'll just take it that serious. But like what Buddy said on that poll, remember Buddy said on that poll? Oh, you're becoming a sacred namer. You're heading down that route. No, it's just that serious. You know what I'm saying? It's just that serious. When we turn around and look at these people slide their gods everywhere. Everywhere. You know how wicked that is to create a word out of a false god and then slide that in the word of the true and living Elohim and slide that in there? You know how wicked you got to be to do that? Oh, see, we got liberty. No, I ain't got liber, man. I ain't into no orgies, man. I ain't into liber. You into liber. All they did is put a T and a Y to it. Then you sit back and look at it, and when you see them homosexuals out here, that's the first thing they scream: liberty, freedom. Give us liberty to be ourselves. Bruce Jenner, give me liberty to be a woman, let my penis swing under my stockings. Ain't even women got no change, so you just cross-dressing. And put this old fruitcake on the cover of a magazine and push them everywhere you go. Now they coming up with laws that say now you got gender neutral bathrooms in schools. Now I got to use the bathroom. I'm a woman, I got to use the bathroom with a boy. And I'm a boy and I got to share the bathroom with a girl because she want to be a man. You can't even stand up to urinate. You still gonna have to go in this stall and urinate. You can't stand up here to this urinal. You're not a man. What is you gonna do? Are you gonna sit in the urinal?
They created contraptions that
Oh, I know they have.
called it whiz.
It's called a whiz, but you still ain't got no schlong.
Still ain't got no.
And guess what? Every 30 days, that whiz ain't gonna help that blood flow.
That's just terrifying.
Every 30 days, I'll never forget that when Uncle said that. Every 30 days, the Most High reminds you that you are a woman. I seen a picture, they say, boy, these dykes these days, they like, boy, they'll take your old lady, because these ain't even hard looking women that's dressing up like studs. These are beautiful women doing it. Nice looking women. Thinking they a man. That's how you know, because back in our time, if you seen a bull dagger, this was a hard, rough looking woman. 9 times out of 10, she was obese. You know what I'm talking about? Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I seen her. She got a low fade and all. That's a husky woman too, boy. That was your, hey, I seen her going, we rode by there one day. Me and Brittany rode by, we was taking a shortcut to get to the Walmart on Phillips Highway. I seen her out there at the hob, her and Big Carol. I said, we rode past, I said, look at Big Carol. Then I seen that, Phillips say it out the window. Then I seen Big Girl, I said, just roll the window up. Roll the window up. Because you know I'm finna head out the window. Big Carol! I said, oh no, she got a man with her. She got a man with her. She gonna be wondering who that man is calling you, girl. Yeah, she got about 2-3 kids now. But that's the way of the world now. Bulldagging with your children. You know what I'm saying? Rump ranging and you got kids. It's more bulldaggers in the house doing it like this. And the word part is the bulldagger trying to play the role of daddy. Trying to play the role of daddy. Let me take the child out to football practice. Hey, boy, but then I sat to say though, but then I say, man, then you got women who you wouldn't even think that in the old day they would have been the lipstick dyke. Now they trying to play the stud. This stuff crazy out here, boy. This stuff crazy. Let's look at about verse 16 though. Ruth said, entreat me not to leave thee or return from following thee, for whither thou go, I will go, and where thou lodge, I will lodge, and my people shall be, and thy people shall be my people, and thy Elohim, my Elohim. You know, we already looked at that on Wednesday, that atonement that was on a Wednesday. We already looked at Hebrews 13, because we looked at Hebrews 13 when we looked at that then, but instead we looked at Hebrews 13 today, dealing with Abraham, Sarah, Hagar, and Ishmael, right? Now let's sit back and look. She's saying, entreat, I won't leave. Your people are my people. Galatians 3:25. Make it 26. For ye are the children of Elohim by faith in Yahushua HaMashiach. For as many of you have been baptized in the Mashiach have put on a Mashiach. Remember, if you put on a Mashiach, you what? You cleave to him. You one with it. Just like Ruth said, didn't it? Well, like I said, Ruth did, I should say. For there is neither Yahudim nor Greek. There is neither bond nor free. There is neither male nor female. For ye are all one in Yahushua HaMashiach. And if you be a Mashiach, then you are Abraham's seed and heirs according to the promise. Because you know they mention Ruth because Ruth ends up marrying somebody who's of the promised seed and is and ends up giving birth to Jesse, who we know give birth to who? So she said, your people, your power, my power. That's the same thing. Ain't no difference between you and me. That's why, we'll sit back and clown and all this type of stuff. But, there's some people be talking crazy. We ain't never been one of them groups be like, well, white people can't be with us. You know what I'm saying? Or Asians can't be with us. Or African or Arab can't be with us. We know the word teach us different than that. From the very beginning, the word teach us different from that. Dudes do that because they got anger in their heart against a group of people because of what they done to us as a whole. I can understand that. But nevertheless, y'all's not a respecter of persons. You can't operate like that. Back to Ruth chapter 1. Verse 17. He said, where thou die, will I die, and there will I be buried. Y'all do so to me, and more also, if aught but death part thee and me. Romans chapter 8, verse 36. He say, where you are, she say, where you go, I go. Where you die, I die. Where you live, I live. Say, ain't nothing. She say, only thing can separate me from you is death. Make it Romans 8 and 35. Who shall separate us from the love of Hamashiach? Shall tribulation? Because you look at it, right? Ruth got to be going through some tribulation. Her husband done died. No, that's a troublesome thing. Your spouse died. Wouldn't you think? Or distress, or persecution, or famine. Oh, they had a little trouble too. That's why they even left Bethlehem, Judea in the first place. They even up marrying Ruth because of famine. Or nakedness, or peril, or sword. As it is written, for thy sake we are killed all the day long. We are counted as sheep for the slaughter. Nay, in all these things we are more than conquerors through him that loved us. For I am persuaded that neither death nor life, nor malachim, nor principalities, nor powers, nor present things, nor things present, nor things to come, nor height, nor depth, nor any other creature shall be able to separate us from the love of Elohim, which is in Yahushua HaMashiach, our master. That pretty much Ruth say, ain't nothing gonna separate me from my delight. Nothing. That's what she said. She say, only thing can separate me from you is death. She say, absolutely nothing that I can go through will separate me from my delight. My friend says nothing will separate me from my delight. He said we will be his friends if we do whatsoever he command us. And if we do whatsoever he command us, nothing should separate us from our delight. Hamashiach should be your delight, right? Since I mentioned something about delight earlier this afternoon, Isaiah 58. Again, because we got a little further, it was different than the first time, wasn't it? Isaiah 58 and 13. He said, if thou turn away thy foot from the Shabbat, from doing thy pleasure on my Kadesh day, and call the Shabbat a delight. So to call the Shabbat Naomi, to call your rest a delight. Hamashiach say, come unto ye, all ye that labor, and I will give you rest. If you call this man a delight, the Kadesh of Yahuwah, honorable, and shall honor him. You see what he say? Honor him. Not doing thy own ways, nor finding thy own pleasure, nor speaking thy own words. That's when we go back to talking about when he said, I will not make mention of my righteousness, but thy righteousness only. Remember we looked at that in song? I will make mention of only thy righteousness because I will only speak thy words. He said, if you honor him, not doing your own ways, seeking your own pleasure. 2 Corinthians 5 and 14. We might hit Galatians chapter 2 with it too. (5 and 14), 2 Corinthians. For the love of Hamashiach constrain us, because we thus judge that if one died for all, then we're all dead. And he that died for all, that they should live, not henceforth live unto themselves, but unto him which died for them and rose again. If he died for you, he became your Shabbat, he became your rest. You should honor him. He said, he that honor me, my Father will honor him also, that where I am, my servant may be also. Wherefore henceforth know we no man after the flesh, yet we have known a Mashiach after the flesh, yet now henceforth know we him no more. That old man got to pass away. The only person you need to know is a Mashiach. You got to sit back and look at that, right? You got to sit back and look at that. You should call this man an honor and a delight and not seek your ways and your pleasure. He said the same way he rested, you should cease from your labors like Elohim ceased from his when he made the Shabbat in the beginning. Which I meant to mention that to y'all last night in more detail. That's how you see the rest when we talk about with tabernacles being in the law in the first 3 chapters, because there go tabernacles right there when he made the Shabbat. When all the works were finished, you rested. When all things are finished, we gonna rest. You're gonna be gathered in and you're gonna rest. You have to sit back and look at that, man. A Mashiach is your Shabbat. You should honor him. If you honor him, you're going to sit back and look at it, because he told you in Revelation chapter 3, probably about verse 5 or maybe verse 8, that says he is that is set apart. He that is Kadesh. He that is set apart. That means you would call him set apart. And if you call Hamashiach set apart, then you would live for him. You wouldn't be speaking your own words. You wouldn't be seeking to please yourself. You wouldn't be seeking to do none of that. You would seek the things that's pleasing to Yah. You would seek the things that delight to him, because you honor the Shabbat in truth. We done talked about this in the past, about almost a year ago. We know keeping the Shabbat is bigger than just saying, oh, we gathering up Saturday afternoon. It's pointing to who it is and what it's about. We understand that, we acknowledge that, we believe in that, and therefore that's why we follow. The same way with the feast, you can't forget what it's pointing to. It's concepts in it where you can save your soul. Come on, let's finish Luke chapter 1. We got to get out of here. Do you follow me? Verse 18. When she saw that she was steadfastly minded to go with her, she left speaking unto her. So they two went until they came to Bethlehem, and it came to pass when they come to Bethlehem that all the city was moved about them, and they said, is this Naomi? No, you know it's funny, even though they were in Jerusalem, we read that last night, and when the Mashiach came in there for tabernacle, they say, where he at? Is this the prophet? Let's look at John chapter 7, where that's at, since I said it. Because the whole city was moved by them, right? John chapter 7, about verse 11. Then the Yahudim sought him at the feast and said, where is he? There was much murmuring among the people concerning him, for some said he is a good man. Others say, nay, but he deceived the people. Howbeit no man spake openly of him for fear of the Yahudim. Now about the midst of the feast, Yahushua went up into the temple and taught. So the people of the city moved about him. They asked, is this Naomi, right? Is this my delight, right? Swing down a little further down in the chapter and look at about verse 38. What we read started 37. In the last day of that great day of the feast, Yahushua stood and cried, saying, if any man thirst, let him come unto me and drink. Look like just like Ishmael was thirsty. He got him a drink. He that believe on me, as the scripture has said, out of his belly shall flow rivers of living water. But this he spake of the Ruach, which they that believe on him should receive. For the Ruach HaKodesh was not yet given, because that Yahushua was not yet glorified. Many of the people, therefore, when they heard this saying, said of a truth, this is the prophet. Others said, this is the Mashiach. So, but some said, shall Mashiach come out of Galilee? Have not the scripture said that a Mashiach come of the seed of David and out of the town of Bethlehem where David was? Do you see the people were moved and asked, is this Naomi? Is this the prophet? Is this the anointed one? They were doing the same thing all over again. You can imagine how serious that they were fulfilling the book of Ruth and didn't even know it. Come on back to Ruth. Verse 20. And she said unto them, call me not my own Naomi, call me Mara, for the Almighty have dealt bitterly with me. Y'all know what the name Mara means?
Bitter,
I'll say it again.
bitter.
Bitter. You know what they tried to give a Mashiach that was bitter when they said y'all have dealt bitterly against me? You know what they tried to give him? And you know what else he had to partake in that he was bitter against him? Them bitter herbs for that affliction. That's why we don't eat no bitter herbs on Passover. I remember the first time we did Passover with the brother Josiah, he was like, you gotta have the bitter herbs. I say, man, I don't want that stuff, man. Come to find out I wasn't wrong. Hamashiach already did the bitter herbs. What you taking them for? If you take on a Mashiach, you eating the bitter herbs. All you gotta do is eat that bread. You ate that bitter herb right then. All you gotta do is drink that cup. Got you some bitter herbs right then. She says in verse 21, I went out full, and Yahuwah have brought me home again empty. Why then call me Naomi, seeing Yahuwah have testified against me, and the Almighty have afflicted me? She said, why you call me my delight when I'm sitting back getting crack across my head? Say, I'm bitter right now. See, that's how some of y'all will be thinking when y'all going through something, man. You know, if y'all's afflicting you, man, they may be afflicting you for two reasons: to make you perfect or because you disobedient. Hopefully it would be for you not doing nothing wrong, but we got to start. It's 5:50. Praise y'all for Yahushua and the word. Y'all understood all this stuff. We continue on tomorrow with it. Y'all will, we're alive. We could